That would be funny if like you could, they call them like Santa's helpers or whatever, all the different Santas in the malls and shit. There's like a bunch of Chad helpers. You can get a Chad show up at your house and your buddy's house.
Yeah.
Birthday party.
Like fake Andrew WK.
Yeah. Fake Chads.
Fake
No, I'm
Gallagher.
the real Chad. I swear to God. Why doesn't anyone ever believe me?
You're skinny, Chad. I've seen you.
That's not true.
I'm Philip Zumach, Chad's cousin. That looks just like him.
I just love Rocco's Valley Girl impression of Chad. It's so fucking funny. Guys, come on. It's so gay.
Sounds like Napoleon Dynamite.
A little bit. Little bit. Oh, right. How are we sounding over there in YouTube land and Discordville? Thank you, OJ. Yes, thank you, OJ.
Is that going to close the whole thing or just that drop-down window if I hit that?
I don't know. Try it. Oh, it closed the whole thing. All right, so click on the all the way to the right, the one over the little compass-looking thing. Nope, one over. The compass-looking. Yeah, thank you. Let's see if you're still up or we got to log back in. Doop-a-doop. Oh, motherfucker. Andy's touching shit. Allow. Click on settings. Because it's going to default to the wrong camera. Because it's gay. Yeah, see how click that drop down under cameras. Yeah, and then go front camera. Yeah. And then close that. And then get in here.
Tough crowd.
All right. Now you're, hey. Where'd he go?
Hey.
Oh.
All right, I got it.
Sorry about that.
Oh, what's that do?
Borf.
What's going on?
It's like a shard in your mouth.
All right, is everyone in position? Everyone ready to go now?
Yeah.
Very good.
You got everything loaded up?
I think so.
All right.
Today's show is brought to you by the new product from our friends at Magic Mind. Magic Mind Sleep. Fall asleep faster and get deeper rest. Along with Focus, there are now 2 daily shots to transform your mental wealth. Visit magicmind.co/WATP-SHOW-JAN to get 45% off the Magic Mind bundle.
I'm the king of I don't know how to shut up.
Episode 589.
Are you a boner guy?
Oh, I was a boner guy.
You know what? I miss penis.
What are you talking about?
I'm the one who should apologize.
Is it going to be absolutely riveting? Is it going to change your life by any stretch? Probably not, but it's going to be at least entertaining, okay?
By the way, for those people that are in the back, remember to shut the fuck up.
Cuz-a-roo. Slap-a-rooney.
It's showtime.
WATP.
WATP.
Hello, Rubbernecks and Cousin-Roos. Welcome to another episode of Who Are These Podcasts, the only show that still has sore knees from the Joe Matarese show last night. I'm your host, Carl. With me today, a man who had his photo taken with his future self last night. From the All Apologies podcast, it's Trucker Andy.
Best night of my life.
You look like you're having so much fun with Joe Matarese right there.
I just knew what it meant. How much fun we'd be able to have with this.
Also, producer Chris is with us.
Hello.
Please go to whoarethese.com, get all of our stuff, including that link to Patreon and Supercast featuring 2 exclusive bonus episodes every single month. We just dropped one this past week with Dick Masterson. We did a crossover show that was fantastic. And so if you want to get on our Patreon or on our YouTube channel, sign up for that. You get all the bonus material. You can watch the show live every Wednesday and Saturday when we record them or anytime thereafter. Hackamania, May 9th through 11th in Las Vegas. Hackamania.com, promo code WATP for 10% off. We are at the top of the leaderboard right now. Made a huge comeback, it appears, because we were not in the top 5, and now we have sold the most tickets. So that's exciting. We have a lot of WATP fans out there, and it's going to be a nice mix of people because, of course, we got the Creep Off and This Little Piggy, a couple shows that I'm on, but also the biggest problem in the universe. Nobody Likes Onions, Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve, Tukey Soup with Cardiff and OJ. Thank you, OJ. So it's going to be a really fun event. Consider making the trip to Las Vegas, May 9th through 11th. Also, please give us 5 stars wherever you review podcasts and then shit all over us in the comment section. Today, we'll be reviewing a show called Tipsy Tuesday on the One Funny Mother YouTube channel. We both listened separately. We've not discussed it with each other beforehand. I want to get into it, but before we do that, the reason why we picked this show is because the guest on it is none other than our boy, Joe Matarese, Joe Matarese. And we got the pleasure of seeing him do stand-up last night. He came to Rochester. Someone had told Joe to reach out to Vinny Paulino because Vinny books for the Rickles Room at the Comedy Club here. And so he reached out, and this was months ago. And Vinny said, sure, man. And so he played last night. He's got a sold-out show tonight. Very exciting. And so I just want to run down. I took notes throughout the show.
Yes,
we were all sitting at the same table, and we were enjoying ourselves quite a bit. So I want to run down a few things. First off, before the show starts, someone, it might have been Vinny, I forget who, someone told me, they're like, dude, Joe just brought up, he requested a chair with a back on it, like a stool with a back on it, because he put up these giant signs on the stage that were like his jokes. So I went ahead and took some photos of that because that was pretty wild. Let me start with this. This is just the room right here. They have the nice background. Vinny does a nice job for the comics, making them feel welcome. So it's got the, the Joe Matarese in the Rickles Room, the 93.7% Italian tour that we were there to see. There's the close-up of it. So after the show, I went up and took a couple photos of this.
Yeah.
So this is, if you're not looking at this, if you're just listening to the show, these are very big boards that are like dark with white writing on them, all caps. And it has things on here like Mary Op, Fat Friend, PhD Barbecue. He did do that one. Community College, he did that bit. Italian Boat, he did that bit. Matarese, he definitely did that. I've seen a lot of these shows before. Matarese, Giuseppe Matarese. I would have gotten laid in 4th grade if I got my Matarese.
Baseball porn, whatever that is.
Yeah, we didn't get to that one.
It looks like, if
Empty
you're
Bar.
listening, it looks like a mom and pop ice cream shop menu. Like somebody just wrote, today it's Rocky Road and whatever. So it's very awkward. Most people just have it on their phone or a napkin or a
I've
piece
never
of paper.
seen anything like this.
Yeah,
this
you
is
just have it
insane.
sitting on a stool, very it doesn't distract the audience. This is completely insane.
He's got Rocky was my mentor. Didn't get into his Rocky impression. I thought he was going to for a minute there.
Not nearly enough.
He
in
mentioned
fact.
Rocky too, and I was like, let me down.
Not to
with
jump
that.
ahead too far, but he did stumble a few times and forgot what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think these notes could confuse him a little?
Yeah, because they're not even alphabetical. It's all over the place. There's a lot of things, and these aren't even all of them. There's a couple more on the other side. New jokes.
Jesus.
He's got Yacht Rock, Roofie Wife,
Wait a minute, this is a set list.
Son Picking College, Daughter Volleyball, Wife No Patience, Hot Tea ADD. I didn't get to any of these. I don't think he ever turned around and saw the new jokes.
I think he talked about his wife having very little patience with him.
He does.
That might
He
have been
talks
it.
about his wife a lot. So I was so excited because we're sitting down in the club. It's just a few minutes before the show's about to start. There's an opener from Buffalo coming in. He's been to the comedy club before. They know her pretty well. And before the show starts, there I see Joe walking up on the stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, what's he doing? So I started videotaping. Oh shit, we're not gonna be able to see it on here. It's audio only. Okay, let me add this to my Let me add this to this. Go ahead while I'm adding this. Give me your thoughts on what we
Most
saw.
professional comedians will be reclusive in the back and build anticipation for the
yes,
show. You know what I mean? The rare exception to that was when Jim Florentine came. And he was going to go in the back, but then he came right over and started visiting with us.
Yeah,
and that was
'cause
amazing.
he saw us, right?
But
so we just hang
usually
out.
people want to have an element of mystery so they don't reveal that they're there until they're called to the stage. Not Joe. He is milling around. He's setting up posters before the opener even comes up. We were talking about it, Chris and I.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's kind of like a low-level punk band that has to set up their own gear. You know, they don't have roadies like those
Right.
kind of band. Local,
yeah, like our level.
well, local
rock
act.
band.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So he's treating it like that. I mean, this guy's been doing it for over 30 years. I would think he would have some kind of...
Okay, so I'm zooming in on him here. So he's up on the stage. No one even recognizes it's him. It's like, it's his big tour, this photo on the thing.
There's a picture of him behind him. And everybody's like, who's this guy?
No one even knows what's going on. So he's making sure he's got all of his notes situated, like I was talking about. Those are the ones behind him with his new jokes. He's got to get those just right. I don't remember looking behind him, though. So it seemed like he should have put him like on the monitors in front of him. All right, so walking around a little bit more, making sure everything's in the right place. Now this is the best. Now he's going back to the green room. So he walks off the stage and he sees that says exit. He's like, oh, this is probably it. So he walks out. Nope, that's not it. That's actually an exit. All right. So then he walks over and he sees these curtains. He's like, oh, I must be back here behind these curtains. Like, what? No, that's not it. So now he's trying to look cool. He's like, yeah, just scoping around the room, guys. Nothing to see here. I like curtains. And then he goes back. There he goes. What's fun about that is that his green room was the creep-off recording studio where we record our podcast. So there's a lot of WATP posters back there. And don't I get a phone call from one Vinnie Paulino last night? And he goes, hey, Carl, guess what your brother did? My brother was there at the show as well. So apparently my brother was getting his photo taken with Joe. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned that, hey, you know, my brother is your biggest antagonist or something like that. And then I'm like, well, why are you bringing that up, right? So then he says something to Mark, the guy who runs the club. And then Mark says something to Vinny. Like, why are you fucking with Joe? The guy's all paranoid now about his show tomorrow night because he's got these people coming to his show. I'm like, okay. Yeah, he had to go and say something.
That was after the show, though, right?
After the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't know we were there during the show. We were in the back.
Lucky for him.
Yes. You know, we have a special guest here who's actually he's ready to go, it looks like. So I'm going to bring him on. I wasn't planning on talking about his buddy Joe with them, but Anthony Cumia, what's up, buddy?
Oh my God, I'm already loving it, dude.
It's so exciting.
Fucking 10 commandments of bits that is written on stone tablets.
Yes.
Who
I brought
does that?
15 jokes. Oh, 10 jokes.
And these 10 jokes. Dude, who does that? Like, we've all seen comics, especially with new material. They have their little notepad, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If they're trying out stuff. How unbelievably distracting is it to have that shit all over the stage like that? I would be so distracted in the audience. Like, he'll start a bit. I would be going, oh, which one is it? Like, I'd be looking, trying to read which bit he's doing. Terrible.
It was fucking amateur hour. The guy's been doing it for years.
34 years, we're going to find out.
It seems like it was his 5th time doing comedy.
And coming out before he's introduced. And also, he had a picture of himself, a life-size picture.
Yes.
So he could have done the same pose. It would have, it's what it looked like. It's like, oh, that's the guy. It's the same guy. You're never supposed to come out on stage before you're announced to do your fucking bit.
Well, what's funny about it is that he promotes himself as the 93.7% Italian tour. So he doesn't expect anyone to know who he is. He just thinks Italians are going to come out to laugh about having plastic on furniture.
Right, right.
Stuff that every Italian.
Well, it was like Clark Kent. He wasn't wearing the sport coat.
Oh, right.
He went back to put on the sport coat, and then he's in comedy mode and that's the comedian.
So the other
Lois,
thing he does,
I have something to tell you.
Whoa! Superman. The other thing that he does that is so unprofessional is the feature act is up there doing her set. And she does 7 minutes or something like that. Yeah. And Joe's in the back with Vinny next to us, setting up a tripod on an empty table with his phone so he can record his set. And he's mumbling to Vinny the entire time. He wasn't being quiet about it all. I'm like, the woman's on stage trying to do jokes right now. You're distracting everyone with this.
She was also distracted. The posters were up before she got up there. She looks over. She's like, wow, that's a lot of words on there. I can't wait to hear what this is all about.
She started reading the signs.
Oh my God. He had him up there during the.
Yeah.
Oh, that is.
Before the show
What a
started.
piece
And,
of
at the end of the show, he forgot her name. Again, just wildly unprofessional. Just like, hey, does anyone remember the opening act's name? Oh, yeah, thanks, Liz.
He was asking the audience. He's like, "Do you remember what her name was?" A big
Oh
round of
my
applause for old
God.
what's her name.
Dude, everyone's been in bands. It's like when you had to open for some band and they wouldn't let you set up your drum kit because it took up the entire stage. So you had to set it up on the front of the stage. It's the same type of attitude with Matarese.
Yeah, it's
Oh
so
my
disrespectful.
God.
I remember opening for Gene Ween. I was so excited to open for Gene Ween. They made us set up in front of the stage. We couldn't even fit on the stage because they don't even sound check
the stage.
So embarrassing. Like, this sucks.
Ooh, brutal.
So Joe starts off. Joe's one of these guys who, when a joke doesn't work, he blames the audience immediately. So he starts off by talking about how he lives in New Rochelle because, hey, my wife grew up there, and the woman picks where you live. Am I right, guys? And he gets nothing. He's like, oh, you're embarrassed in front of your wives to say that, right? I'm like, no. That's just you, Joe. Most people make more money than their wives, and they choose where to buy a house, or they both choose together.
Even before that, though, he did the old pander to the sports team. The local.
So poorly.
How about them Bills?
yeah.
And he doesn't know fuck all about
Worst
football
banter ever.
Yeah. he
Comedy
did not-
101. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, he did not know very much about football. He's like, so there's a game this weekend, and it's gonna be warm, right? Like, don't worry about it, Joe. It's fine. So then he starts calling people out. He's always talking about social media. Like, he's obsessed. He thinks that his career is going to live and die with social media and what he posts. He sees some old people, and he's like, social media is working. We got some. How old are you, sir? You're 80. You must have seen this on Facebook, right? Yeah. I swear he's all excited. that
Sounds
there's
like the
old
Opie
people there.
plan.
Yeah.
Then, so he's giving lessons for other comics. He does that a lot too during his set, which is very funny. He's a mentor. He gives lessons, which we're going to find out. But he says, guys, when you go to an area, you want to ask the audience questions. Because he's like, what kind of cuisine do you guys have? What are you guys known for?
Oh, God.
He goes, what you do is you ask questions. You never insult the audience. You never insult anything about their town or where they are. Every other comic I've seen come to this place insults Rochester immediately, and we all enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they also already have done a little research, so they know what is going on
Right.
in the town.
But like you said, he said, don't insult the audience. He asked, what are we known for? Someone said garbage plate.
Yep.
And he says, that doesn't sound very good.
Oh, yeah. And then he's allowing some old lady to explain the contents of it, and he's earnestly listening to it. It's like, this woman is doing the show for him now. That happens a couple of times, too. The crowd work was abysmal.
Oh, he got so distracted. At one point, he's talking to this woman who sells graves,
Oh, yeah.
and he's just having a conversation with her.
Yeah.
And then finally he goes, oh, I'm sorry, where was I, guys? Does anyone remember? Someone had to remind him the last joke he told so he get back into his act.
That happened at least twice as well.
I wish I had a laser pointer to get to his notes. Oh, you're right here, Joe.
He'd probably chase after it. I wrote down, because I was just taking notes. I just wrote down some of the jokes that I thought were really bad, like his mozzarella joke.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
This is
Or the
thing where-
Italian thing, I guess.
Yeah, Italians, they leave the vowel off. Because, do you want some mozzarella?
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh,
Never,
yeah, I guess."
never heard that bit.
Pretty good stuff.
When Brian Regan did it.
Right.
There was a lot of retard faces. I have Mr. Butter faces. At
Yes.
one point, he was talking about some guy, and that happened a couple of times too. Where
Well,
the punchline is just making a goofy face, like.
I've seen this before, but he talks about the PhD barbecue. So his wife's a PhD. She has all her friends over for a barbecue. And he says, they're using all these big words I don't understand, like frontal lobes. It's like, huh? Like that was in a list of words.
Oh yeah,
that
you
he
like
said.
rattled off 2, 3. He's like, what else? What else is a frontal lobe? I guess. Okay. Hilarious.
Sounds good. Let's see. What else did he say? I just wrote down the crowd work is brutal. He's like, where did you go to college? Was one of the questions.
Oh,
he
yeah.
asked.
I did think he was going to just say, let's go around the room and everybody say where you went to college. Oh, the one, he's like, what's the local community college here?
Yes.
And somebody goes, Monroe Community College. You go, oh, it would have been better if it started with the letter R.
Yeah. Someone goes MCC and he goes, what does the M stand for? Remedial?
Yeah.
So weird. Like he had a joke all ready to go, but it didn't work.
My joke only works if the college starts with an R. Do you have can somebody say RIT? Because that would have worked for his set.
Killed at
true, right.
Rutgers when I was in Jersey.
Yeah.
So Joe must have thought he was doing well because our table was dying nonstop. I just want to say.
Yeah, we were being a little talkative and rude, but
No,
at one point,
I don't think we were. I think we were respectful.
the club owner is sitting behind the mixing board, and here's Chris, and just starts cracking up at what Chris is saying. Just because we're just shitting on him the whole
He
time.
started goofing on him too. He was yelling jokes on us.
I know. It was great. There was 3 shows going on at once.
So at the end, he started doing requests. All right, guys, what do you want to hear?
Oh yeah,
At least you could read them off of the little things he had on stage.
Yeah,
so.
people were literally like pointing at the stuff on the
Yeah.
stage. Going, oh, can he do that one?
Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
Joe Matarese.
I
Talks about medication a lot, of course.
Yeah.
That's his big thing. And he's so proud of himself. He thinks everyone should be going to a therapist and on tons of drugs. He was promoting Adderall earnestly.
Yeah.
He's just like, you guys got to get on Adderall. You're not on Adderall?
Okay.
It's weird. Are you going to prescribe it for us? Because sure.
At one point, he started heckling himself because he was recounting a gig that he had on a cruise ship where he insisted people move closer and come down, and this drunk asshole comes down and was heckling him. But he's recounting it, and it just turns into him heckling himself. And that was bonkers to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had this moment of clarity.
It was this long story about this cruise ship. He called it a yacht. It's a cruise ship. I don't know why he called it a yacht. And he's going on and on about this gig that he had. And it goes on and on. And at the end of the story, he goes, I wish I had something funny to close that bit with.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's your job. That's your job. Like, you just did a long bit. You got to have like a big closer there. You just
All
it just-
setups. No punchline.
Right. It just kind of fizzled out.
The guy just kept yelling, "You suck!" And we're sitting in the back going, "Yeah, he was right."
Jesus.
I'm sure he was drunk, but also he's making some points, you know? Anything else you guys picked up on or wanted to report back on? We had a great time.
Yeah.
Go see Joe Matarese if you can, if he's coming to your town. It's
What a
worth
plug.
it. Yes. It's definitely worth it.
Nice guy.
So a week and a half ago, he was on a show. He's actually promoting this show. He was on a show with Dina Blizzard. Does anyone know who Dina Blizzard is?
No.
I never heard of her either, but she's a comic, and I guess she's been doing it for a while. And she has a YouTube channel called One Funny Mother, and this show, the Tipsy Tuesday, where she drinks her wine in front of the fireplace, and she brings Joe on, and it kind of starts on a downer. I don't know if this is the way that I would bring on a.
By bringing
guest.
Joe on?
Yes, exactly.
Look at you. I didn't know you imploded. What imploded?
Yeah. So
I
briefly,
don't know. You're still married.
I know. Joe and I
Divorced?
haven't seen each other in forever.
Are you
So, yeah.
divorced?
So I'm divorced. My dad passed away. I hit menopause. I started getting pellets in my butt, which is a whole conversation.
Pellets.
What a way to start a show right there.
Wow.
Brings on the guest. He's like, "What? So wait, you were just saying like everything's horrible in your life right now? Let's elaborate on that to start things off."
These two deserve each other.
They really do.
She's like alternate timeline Marissa Tomei if she was a battered wife.
You're right. It looks like she did used to be pretty hot.
Yeah, yeah. You could see something was going on there.
All right.
She's a Jersey 8.
Now, Anthony, you know about this as well as anyone because you were on the infamous episode of Fixin' Joe,
Oh, yeah.
along with Jim Norton and Artie Lang. And
Legend.
this was Joe's big idea where I'll just talk about how fucked up I am, and then comics can tell me or give me advice on how to do things better or whatever.
He picks the worst 3 people
He's like, "What are you guys just gonna bust my balls the whole time?" Like,
for his
yeah.
debut show. We just ripped him apart.
So she asked him about his podcast,
Yeah, but I feel like the last time I saw you, you were doing the podcast with your cousin, right? Was it Morning Joe, Cup of Joe? What was it?
Well, everybody makes fun of me because I had so many different podcasts, but I don't have one now. And I haven't had one for multiple years. But
it was you and your cousin, and he was like a psychologist. Is that
yeah,
it?
we never did a podcast together, but we did live shows with a therapist on stage, where the therapist would kind of sit there on stage and take notes while the comedian was on stage, and then he would psychoanalyze him, and I was like the Dr. Drew on the show. I was the in-between.
Ah.
Okay. I have a lot to say about this. First off, he said he hasn't had a podcast in years. It was just last year he rented out that studio in Manhattan and was doing that show with the other guy, and then Blind Mike found it and started goofing on it, and then we did, and then he abandoned it immediately because he took them all down and got scared. I even signed up for his Patreon. And he canceled everything on us. So that's a lie. He's just like, oh yeah, I've done one of the years. I don't even look. Don't even bother looking for that. But isn't that crazy that he had this other show? It wasn't even a podcast. I didn't even know about this. Where a therapist is on the stage, psychoanalyzing a comic, and then he's the Dr. Drew. Like, Dr. Drew has medical credentials.
Yes. He meant he was the Adam Carolla, but
Maybe that's what he meant.
yeah.
Okay.
He fucked that up too.
Okay. I'm like, everything he thinks about is like around therapy. That's not entertainment. This is not what people enjoy. No. Those weren't the best scenes from Sopranos.
No.
He's trying to he's been trying to reinvent stand-up comedy for years with this new idea. I'm going to do this with therapists. I'm going to, his special brand of comedy, the therapy thing. Just get up and tell some funny setups and punchlines. That's it. You don't have to reinvent the whole genre.
Now, Anthony, tell me, maybe you and I have talked about this before, but I think it was Dan Filato was telling me this, that when Joe first started off, he was considered one of the best comics and a rising star on the circuit. Yeah. He was so quick. He was so good with crowd work. His jokes were really funny. And then he met his wife, and his wife put him on all this medication. And he's just kind of like a shell of what he used to be.
Yeah, comics should not take like psycho medications. They need to be fucked up. They need to have some kind of problems. You drug them up and they start doing what Joe's doing.
Yeah, could you imagine like Rodney Dangerfield was on Ritalin?
Oh my God.
Just like, I get about the respect I deserve.
Hey, let me tell you, my wife loves me and I feel good about it, all right?
That's pretty much what Joe's act is.
Yeah.
It's so weird. So Joe taught stand-up class to teenagers over the summer.
Right.
Oh,
and got his son.
Those that can't do.
Yes, and got his son involved to be part of this. And I know you have some clips on this, but they do, like, whenever you do a stand-up class, at the end you do like a show, and then all the friends and family come and watch the show. Joe headlined it. Joe decided to headline his own stand-up class.
Your son clearly has watched you do stand-up. My kids have watched me do stand-up.
Well, they haven't seen me like crush it. Like, I think like I had to go up at the end of the comedy school, because you're I did the dumb thing, which is headline the graduation show.
Yeah.
And my son's there, my wife's there, and my 12-year-old daughter are there. And
okay.
If you want to throw a comedian off, just throw family members right in the front row. That's all you got to do.
It's not good.
I can't do comedy in front of my wife and 2 kids. I felt totally not like my normal self. I was like all self-conscious.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be at that show. I want to see all these teenagers and what they learned from Joe, and then watch him bomb. Does everyone get their money back after that?
Like, if you're a teen, Joe is 100 years old to a teenager, and he gets up there and starts doing comedy like that. They probably have zero to relate to. They can't find, like, they're going to think Pong in the 80s is hilarious.
Yeah, he talks a lot about like growing up in the 70s and the 80s and what that was like. I can only imagine him guiding another comic because he's so bad at it himself. So, someone comes up, he's just like, what is that, an Irish last name? Oh, great. Okay, so what if you did your entire set about how you're Irish? Like, I don't know. I don't really care about that much. No. You don't understand, because there's other Irish people, and then they'll all want to come to your show to see you tell jokes about potatoes. You're definitely going to want to jump on this. Nah, I don't know. I was just gonna make some like observational jokes about things that we all experience every day.
You might be a Mick if
Andy, do you have anything from that?
Yeah.
his wife was forcing Joe's son to go to the comedy class with him. She's like, you got to get a job or you got to go to school or have some kind of recreational activity. It can't just all be Fortnite all summer long. So Joe's dragging him along, and this is my clip 1, and this is how serious Joe's son was taking this comedy class.
Oh no.
And I'm a comedian, so I have to throw the family under the bus. It's
Yeah,
not funny if I'm nice about my kid right now.
Yeah.
I think he came with me into the city in my car and was an hour late to my class because he's like, I'm gonna go grab something to eat really fast, which took an hour and 10 minutes. I'm like, there's 40 pizza places on this block.
Yeah.
Like,
Where did you go? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
And then
with
I
kids
remember
today?
The next week he came and he was like sleeping in the middle of the comedy class, and I'm like, dude, you're killing me. You can't fall asleep. These guys are pursuing their dreams.
Yes, but I'm listening to your set, Dad.
Yeah.
I can't help but fall asleep.
Like I said, these guys are pursuing their dreams. This guy is pursuing his dream.
Still.
Don't fall asleep in front of me. It makes me feel bad.
What's so weird about Joe's career, and God bless him, he's got some fortitude. He's sticking with it. But he was on America's Got Talent. You know, he tells that whole story. He was on other TV shows and has been on Howard Stern's show, not as the laughing stock, but because he was touring with Artie and they were buddies and they brought him on the show. And he knows all those people. And yet he's calling Vinnie Paulino to see if he can get 2 nights in Rochester, New York in January and play the Rickles room, the smaller of the 2 rooms at the comedy club. He's sticking with it though. I think I'd be like, well, I'll go into like insurance sales or something at this point.
Oh, fuck. I forgot this at the end when you showed the picture that I got with him at the end of the night. There was virtually nobody left in the place. And he's getting a drink at the bar. I see him there. And I'm just like, oh, hey, Joe, thanks for coming up north. And we had a great time. And he's like, oh, were you in the main room? I was like, no, I was at your show.
Oh, God.
He couldn't believe that I actually attended his show.
He thought you went to Orlando Jones. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But
I thought I chased everyone out of here.
Yeah. In my clip 3, though, where we talked about how his son didn't respect the work that he does.
Yeah.
And during COVID, there was nothing better to do than him and his daughter put on this terrible. They had like an app where you can feature your act and sell tickets to it or something like that. And this is his daughter's reaction after doing her first comedy set with her dad.
During COVID, there used to be an app. I don't even think it exists anymore. It was called Stage It. Did you ever hear of that one?
No.
It was popular for about 3 or 4 years. And when COVID hit, it got really popular. You could basically do what you're doing right now.
Okay.
And you could charge cover charges. And people would have to buy tickets to it, which you can do now through all the social media. But back then, you couldn't do it through any social media. So her and I decided we were going to do a sketch comedy show. We wrote sketches together and we acted them out in front of the camera and sold tickets. Of course, it was, all friends and family and neighbors.
That's awesome.
And when she was done, she goes, Daddy, that wasn't fun. And I go, that's because you don't get the best part of being a comedian. You're just hearing laughter. When you do this, it's like there's no laughter, as you know.
His kids hate him.
now you know how I feel, Sally. When
Well,
you
you know when he
and
does.
he fucking laughed.
Of course it's not fun. It's comedy.
When he said, she and I decided that we were going to do this. No, he decided.
Yep.
He grabbed her up. She wanted to play Fortnite or whatever and made her do this. And then at the end, she's just like, this isn't fun.
This
I'm not
sucks.
having fun.
Yeah. To the softest audience of your grandmother and her friends.
Oh.
And they're charging money to these people too on top of it. It's kind of messed up.
Shaking down the family.
But I guess the biggest peak of his career was when he was on America's Got Talent and Howard Stern's there and Howie Mandel and he brings his family out. So he's got his kids and his wife and standing ovation. And like he said, you know, his son's a celebrity at school the next day and all this stuff. And wow. Have things fallen off since then because he got the next appearance after he's like, yeah, I'm going to win this whole thing. He comes on and there's no audience there and just the 4 judges and they give him nothing.
Oh,
They
wow.
just stare at him. And he was off the show after that, which I gotta think that's horrible for your career. If like you're on television and there's celebrities hating you.
Yeah. Clip 7.
Oh, do you have something? Okay.
This was a mistake by me. I picked the same act that I had planned in front of the audience. Now, anyone that's a stand-up comedian would probably know if you're doing stand-up for 4 people versus 1,000, you need to do jokes that are quick, right? I just did the same thing that was like this story about my wife that sucks.
I see how you edited that.
But then he goes on to say that Dan Natterman, who I love and everybody would agree is way funnier than Joe, he didn't even have to do that version of the set. They were just like, you're on, and we already have the middle-aged white guy who's funny, so you're fucking out. And they just...
Yeah, it seemed like they did set him up.
Ushered him out the door. Yeah.
I have this clip. It's a little bit tedious, so I'm going to warn you. But it really does summarize Joe and even the act that we saw last night, how he gets distracted by something and he can't let it go. He can't just move on. So he's talking about America's Got Talent, and there was another comic on the season that he was on who was very funny.
I was against a girl comic who was really funny, and she was semi-famous. I mean, she probably did Letterman 12 times. Why am I forgetting her? She has those real misdirection type jokes. And she lives in Los Angeles. Why am I forgetting her name? She's
You're not talking about Tig.
Not Tig. She's in the next era before Tig. I don't want to sound anti-Semitic, but Jewish woman.
Oh,
Dark hair.
Judy.
How dare you?
He said Jew.
The hard J.
Stuttering John level anti-Semitism. But look at this. I'm 31 seconds into a 2-minute long clip. At this point, you just be like, well, anyway, so she was in it too. She was great, so I knew I didn't have a chance. But no, watch this.
Not Judy Gold. She's real misdirection. Like when I say
Said
misdirection, I mean, you know, those comedians
Yeah.
that take you like Tom Cotter style, where they do a word play to take you the other way.
We know what misdirection
She was famous for that. She was the first comedian I ever saw that really did that misdirection style, and she was real dry. Not Stephen Wright dry, but just a little more than
every other comic's name.
Yeah.
It's misdirecting. Like when you say, let's go see comedy, and then you take me to a Joe Matarese show.
As opposed to those jokes you see coming a mile away.
Yeah. She did these things. They were punchlines. Yeah. Setups, punchlines.
And the chat is just throwing shit at the wall. Like, is it this person? Is it this person?
Looney Tunes expert actually has it.
Someone will get it.
Yeah.
And she was like big in the 90s. So I was told that was the other. She used to open for Howie Mandel.
It's not Sarah. It's not Sarah Silverman.
No, more like jokey, like quick jokes.
Yeah.
I know her. God, she used to
Could you imagine Sarah Silverman on America's Got Talent? She had her own TV show at this time. What are you talking about?
A guy that I know.
Miriam, Lisa Ann. I don't know who any of those.
No, that's a close one, like a Lisa Ann
star.
Walters. Is that what you were going to say? Yeah, she's around that same time period. If you just looked up female comedians that have done Letterman 10 to 15 times, there's probably not a lot.
Said Judy Tenuto. That's an amazing guess.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But Judy Tenuto, not dry. She had an accordion. I'm Judy Tenuto. It was Judy Tenuto, right?
Gosh, yeah.
So to the rest of the story,
finally moves on. But we were watching this last night. We just get distracted on something and just go off on a while. It's just like, what are we doing? Are we just having a conversation with this person in the corner now? Is that what's going on?
Hey, guy in the third row, what was I talking about? That happened a couple of times.
But I think the reason why he lets himself get distracted is because he's looking for that viral moment. And he's a lot like Opie in this way.
Yes.
He's trying to capture that moment that's going to go viral and get him the millions of views, and he can go on that big tour and everyone will know who he is. And they'll all be going,
if you have
Joey.
gray in your beard, you're never getting a viral video.
No.
It's just the way it is. It's for the young.
Right. Unless your son is fat and likes Costco.
Right.
You're not going to go viral.
Yeah.
When you're that age.
Yep, my clip
Yeah,
8. He's
if you get a catchy boom song, maybe. But
Oh my God. Someone just sent me their latest one.
Oh,
where
I
they're
know.
they're with a band. Have you seen this one, Anthony?
Oh, I have. It's huge.
The Rizzler is playing like the Eddie Van Halen guitar. Eddie Van Halen's estate needs to sue these people.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they would do that.
Defamation.
It's defamation.
It's drama again. It's like I don't know how to. That's something I haven't figured out as a comedian.
What's that?
How to be dramatic on the internet and have that be some thing that gets you a big following. I can't
Yeah.
figure it out.
Most of the time when we've had videos go viral, it's because I'm drunk in them. I don't know if that'll help you at all. But I was.
The thing is I've
Pretty
had
good advice.
videos go viral. You need 200 videos to go viral. I've had some that have, they'll do the YouTube ones, but sometimes they're drama. Like I had some guy telling me I was racist in Hartford, and him and his wife walked out of the show, and this guy in the audience imitated them, and it was really hilarious. Like,
So I found that video.
Yeah, it went viral because somebody else was funny.
Yeah.
Not me.
Literally.
Yeah, it's his show, but other people were hilarious.
The way that Joe thinks about it, like, there's got to be drama involved. Or it could be like, who's that guy? Not Matt Riley. That young comic who just does crowd work.
Rife.
Matt Rife, yeah.
Wendy Liebman.
Lisa Ann.
So this is the video he's referring to.
And Latinos, great middle infielders.
So this video has 440,000 views, 5 months old. And he's blurred out the people for some reason, even though they're getting up and moving. So he's doing all this work on this video too. Watch him waffle out, and he's really working very hard to show you what's happening in this video.
I'm racist? Did I say racist?
So this goes on and on and on. And then finally, this is the big moment over here.
How old? 63. Look good, though. 62. You guys look good.
Bro, we're out of here. Let's fucking racist.
That's racist!
Okay, so that's a moment, right? The guy does a callback from the heckler earlier. He goes, "Oh, that's racist." Watch Joe ruin it. This is Joe's instincts right here.
You scared the shit out of me. Oh my god. That was good. I gotta get that on camera. This guy. Do that again. Do it again. Do it again.
You fucking racist. Fuck off.
Could you imagine, Anthony, someone says something funny, and I've seen this happen. Jim Norton shows, I've heard people say very funny things quickly, and he'll address it and move on. Could you imagine, it's like, "Sir, hold on, get down here. Let's mic this guy up. That was a great line. Come here.
Do it again.
Oh.
Do it again.
Do it again. Anything funny that you say, do it again. What?
Yeah.
You have zero comic instinct.
That's how comedy works.
Wow.
So yeah, that's his big. Viral
That's
video.
way too bright in there too for a comedy club. Jesus.
Well, probably because he was filming. He's filming the audience. And
Great.
The
So
audience, it
ruin
looks
the
like-
show just to get fucking pour light all over everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. You could see each other way too well. In
Yeah,
the
you don't
audience.
want that.
And they look like they're sitting at picnic tables. Like this is like a VFW or something. I would imagine. Low ceiling. But no, I mean, good for him. He's still killing it. Let's talk about this tour that he's on. The 93.7% Italian.
Wish I
That's
could.
awesome. And so is that a real statistic? You said, what is the name of the tour? You're how many percent Italian?
Well, my wife came up with that number because I remember asking her PhD help. I go, I need a number.
Is that a real statistic? 93.7% Italian. And he goes, no, in fact, I didn't even come up with it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
He had his wife come up with a number that what was the criteria? Is that as 93.7? Is that funnier than like 96.8?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Oh, okay. See, I just don't know comedy.
Joe's wife does, apparently. She
Yeah,
calls it
yeah.
that.
Oh, it's funny when Lucy sent the picture of the promotional material that says, even if you're not Italian, you'll still be. It was
Still
like
enjoy
6.7%.
6.7%.
Which comes to a
100.4.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the math was wrong. And I told my buddy Vinny this because it's on their website. And he goes, oh, we just post whatever they send us.
Yeah.
So the math was wrong in the promotional material.
Oh, God.
And then he does the math wrong on this as well, which I'm a little nitpicky, but
There was a joke. That one did well social media wise. The joke about how
he did this joke at the show last night too. But he always judges how funny jokes are based on how many views it got on social media.
Social media.
I have a clip. I won't even get to it probably. There's a clip where it's just like, yeah, and this joke, people loved it. It got like 1 million views. It's like, oh, okay, that's not how jokes work, but all right.
my dad's brother did the 23andMe, and I always was told growing up that we were 100% Italian because my parents are both Italian and their parents are all Italian. So growing up, when we grew up, that meant you were 100%. And then you know the joke was how my uncle did the test, and it turned out we were 60% Italian, 20. I'm going to do the math wrong now because I haven't done the joke in a while. 22% West Asian, 18%. I'm trying to remember them. I can't do math on a live podcast. 18% North African and 2%. Oh, I did the math right? And 2% Sephardic Jewish. I go, in all these years, I thought my family was racist. They're not. They're just self-deprecating. That was your joke.
Whoa.
So if you don't have scrap paper out at home, that added up to 102%. And he's like, whoa, I got the math right.
Nailed it.
Thought I was going to embarrass myself for a second there.
Funniest math class ever.
Pretty good stuff. So he's got a buddy whose name is Josh Wolf, another person I've never heard of. And I follow comedy pretty close. So you know who Josh Wolf is, Ant?
No.
So this guy apparently is a comic, and him and his son were on the road together doing shows. And Joe oftentimes, I will say this, he says the quiet part out loud. He doesn't have a filter. He says things that are embarrassing all the time.
I actually tour now with my son, who's 25, and my daughter, 22, and my mom, she's 76.
So you're like Josh Wolf. You know him?
No, who's Josh Wolf?
Josh Wolf's doing amazing with him and his son. Josh Wolf used to do Chelsea Lately with me. He's one of the only comedians out there that's doing really well and actually gets back to me when I hit them up for a favor.
So sad.
It's like Chad's Jim Florentine.
Yes. He lets me come to a Super Bowl party and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm one of the guys. So that's kind of sad. Now, you hear that Dina's talking about this show that she does, and they play theaters, and she goes all over the place with her son and her daughter and her mom, and they all go out and do stand-up. And so
Eddie Foy and the Seven Little Foys. Sounds like vaudeville.
yes. But Joe hears this and goes, this is amazing. But he thinks it has to be on social media or else it can't be successful. And he's very confused that she's playing large venues and stuff like that.
But this is doing well. I mean, this isn't struggling. Like, this is doing well. Like, how do you bring the family into the social media side of things? You don't.
Well, nobody will do anything. Diana, my mom is on.
How are you selling all these tickets and getting bookings in all these places?
See, he thinks that everything has to do with, yeah, but have you had a video go viral? What do you mean you're selling tickets? How is that?
No one sold tickets before social media. No one packed venues.
Yeah. Joe is stuck. He's stuck in this thing where he's just like, I just need this viral video and then my career is going to take off. I swear to God, it's going to happen. He probably has this conversation with his wife all the time. which is why he has to set up his little phone on every show and try to
Very
capture the
Opie.
magic.
Very Opie centric.
Yeah. But the other thing about Joe is that he doesn't know what he's doing with his life. We've heard him talk about this on his show, Fixing Joe and stuff like that. And whenever he's having a conversation with someone, he's always looking for a new thing to do, a new career.
I'm an opener that does 50 minutes, and then she comes in, does a tight 5, and kills, and everybody loves her.
But this sounds so easy for you to do social media with all of you. So you gotta just I'm ready to come over your house when you're all together and just start filming shit and cut it together. Like, I'm gonna quit comedy and manage you guys. What the hell? That's like, I haven't seen anyone. That's when you know it's a good idea, when you can't think of anyone doing it.
Is that true?
Jesus.
It's gotta work. It's never happened before. It's not the case. But you see how quickly he's just like, all right, I'll tell you what. I'll film it. I'll do all the editing, and I'll manage you guys. And she's like, yeah, no, we don't need that. We're doing fine. They even talk about, for a while, I won't play the clips. You might have something, Andy. But they start talking about, because Joe's just looking for advice on shows to play all the time. Mm-hmm. So he's asking about different theaters she plays and which ones get good crowds. And, well, can I do this one? He's like, well, how many does that hold? She's like, 800. He's like, oh, wow.
Oh,
maybe there's another place in that area.
Is there a Rickles room?
Rickles room.
It's really funny to watch. And again, this is just him being a little too honest.
Nice. Somebody said, how about Cincinnati?
No,
Ohio coming
Go
up?
Bananas doesn't book me anymore. I haven't been there in like 12, 15 years. I used to do that club a lot. I don't go Midwest hardly ever. I go Northeast Florida, back and forth. It's like, that's where the Italians are, and I just go back and forth.
Empty Daily says, it's not that he doesn't have a filter. He's just not that bright. You might be onto something. Yeah, I don't do Go Bananas anymore. They don't book me.
The big difference between someone like Opie or John or Chad or anything and Joe is a likable guy. Yes. Like, he's a nice guy. You don't have contempt for him because he's an asshole or anything like that, like these other guys. He's a nice enough guy, and you feel for him, you know? But, man, he just doesn't really have this comedy thing down.
No, it's not happening for him, which is fun to watch.
No, you feel bad for him more than not like him, you know?
Oh, yeah. To your point, one of the first times that we focused on one of his podcasts, Gino sent me a text. And, he showed a photo of him watching us goof on Joe. And he's like, Carl, I'm crying over this episode, but I just want you to know that Joe's one of the nicest guys. You would love to hang out with him. Yeah. He's a total sweetheart. I'm like, no, I believe you, Gino. I'm sure he is. I have no problem with the guy. I don't think he's going to try to get us canceled or anything like that. Anything else you want to play from this episode, Andy? Anything else you picked up on?
Just the last thing was clip 9. This is when he's talking about those early days where everybody that's ever made it used to record themselves on a tape recorder, or like put on their own little radio show or do stand up through a guitar amp in their basement. And you could just tell that they're destined for greatness unless you're Joe's mother and grandmother.
I used to have, I played guitar when I was in high school, and I had a guitar amp that I would plug a microphone in when I was 16, and I would go down in our basement and I would just talk into that thing, and I would listen to comedians on records, and I would memorize their acts. I mean, all the stuff that you ever hear a comedian talk about that gets famous when you see their biography. I didn't know that, but I was doing all that shit by accident, so it's amazing that my parents weren't like, you should be trying to do comedy. It was the opposite. My mom was like, shut up, it's too loud, turn it off. Like that was what I grew up with. My grandma lived around the block. She was brutal. I mean, till she died, she was telling me to quit comedy. I mean, till the last breath, she's like, you quit.
You suck.
Oof. He's describing Rupert Pupkin from King of Comedy.
Yes, turn it down.
To a T.
I have to do this now.
You're going to miss the bus, Rupert. You got to go to work. Ma, I got to do this now.
Maybe Joe should kidnap Jimmy Fallon. That's how he's going to go
Yeah,
viral.
exactly. He's got a Tonight Show set in his basement.
He would mow it over if you told him that. Let's go back to the comedy club tonight and talk to him after the show. We got some ideas for you. You want that drama to happen.
Viral moment. That'll do it.
So yeah, this I also want to maybe check in on this Dina Blizzard some more. She seems interesting. This is what her YouTube channel looks like.
So everybody's talking about a new app called Pokemon Go where kids can go around and find Pokemon. But did you know there's an app for moms?
This is an 8-year-old video that is the autoplay when you go to her YouTube page.
Oh, yeah, this is pinned.
Yeah, I think that she just likes that she looks younger in it, because who's going to listen to a video about Pokemon Go?
Go to my MySpace.
So she's got almost 29,000 subscribers, which is admirable. A little better than us, actually. But these videos are not doing huge numbers. She gets a few hundred on most of these. She does morning shows and the Tipsy Tuesday. It's interesting to see that actually the one with Joe Matarese has fewer views than
You don't say.
most of the other ones.
Oh, brutal.
Apparently that wasn't a guess that people were interested in. But I mean, they're all about the same, so I don't want to go too hard. But yeah, we might have to revisit this woman. She's putting out a lot of content.
Yep.
Producer Chris is making a note there. I know that this is going to happen now. That's what it takes. I got a quick update. This is interesting. If you guys remember Life by Design, it was a podcast we reviewed a long time ago, episode 224, starring Christy Love, who's a porn actress, and notice I didn't say porn star, porn actress, and Christy Love's husband, Stephen Dela Cruz. And it was like this weird thing where he's just like overly happy. And he's just like, this is great. She took it in the ass by 3 different guys today. And then she comes home and I make her dinner. Really weird.
We're like this all the time.
Yeah, it was like a really weird dynamic that they had. And then we gave you an update because, also they were running a church. They were like pastors at a church too.
Right.
On top of that. And she was a porn
They
actress.
went. Did
While
she get
she
away
was
from
doing that.
porn and went religious? Oh,
No.
She was still doing porn and
Yeah.
trying to be religious at the same time?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, sir.
Right. So we found that to be interesting. Well, then, and we broke this a year or so ago, we found out that he pled guilty to raping his younger sister.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Brutal. So he is in prison now, 30-year prison sentence for multiple felonies, including the rape of his younger sister when he was a teenager. Whew. So not great. And so Christy Love is out of a co-host. And someone just sent this to me. She's got a new gig. The porn actress who's found God is now trying to do a cooking show on her channel.
Oh, my God.
Welcome to the second episode. Yay! Today we are going to make mushu, pork, and egg drop soup from PF Chang's. And the first thing we're gonna make is the pancakes for the mushu pork. Woo! Let's get started. We're gonna start with the flour. And then I am going to put half tablespoon of salt. Just stir it around.
So quirky. The editing on this is bizarre. I couldn't even get out. This is episode 2 without a hard edit in there.
Sorry, a little jizz in my throat.
I can only assume the chat is just spamming sit on the rolling pin. It's like,
Yeah, right.
Nobody wants this.
Yeah, and she was like, I think she was known for anal. I think that was her big thing.
I researched this.
Yeah, we did do some research. I remember back in episode 224. We wanted to know what we were talking about. And now she's doing a cooking show. She's just throwing shit at the wall. So keep an eye on that. See how it goes. Well, I'm excited today. We have a lot of things to get into, including a big update on Scorch.
Oh,
I can't wait to tell you guys about Scorch. Opie put out a video yesterday that's getting a lot of traction. He was back on the streets of NYC.
Oh, yeah.
There's some really funny shit going on with that. And the big news in the Dabbleverse right now is Chad Zumach going to Stuttering John's house yesterday. Did you see this, Ant?
A 50-year-old and 60-year-old man battling it out like this the epitome of sad.
It's so pathetic. There's police involved. There's
Yeah,
gigs getting
cops.
canceled. We got a lot of stuff to get to, so stick around for that. First, I just wanted to thank our friends over at Magic Mind for sponsoring the show. They've been a loyal sponsor for well over a year now, and I've been drinking at Magic Mind every single day for all of that time, and you've heard me talk about it a lot. I swear by it. And now they have a brand new product that is for sleeping. You drink one of these before you go to bed. It helps you fall asleep faster, helps you stay asleep. I can tell you that. It works very well, so you wake up refreshed, and then you take your Magic Mind productivity shot in the morning, and it gives you calm energy, makes you feel better about yourself, makes you feel better about the world.
I think Joe needs some.
Helps you feel focused.
Do an IV drip on Joe.
he might need that. So what's great now is that you have this bundle, and so you take one at night before bed, you take one in the morning, and it keeps you productive for whatever you need to do in that day. And listen, not every day do you have to be the most productive person in the world, but this gets you in a place where you're ready to take on whatever you need to take on for that day. So I'm a big fan of this latest product. It works very well. And for the first time, the Focus and the Sleep Shots are bundled. And this month, you'll get 45% off your order. If you visit magicmind.co/WATP show Jan to get that 45% off. It's magicmind.co/WATP show Jan. And it's 2025, the year to focus on your mental wealth. It's also a 100-day satisfaction guarantee. I believe Missy B uses Magic Mind, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, absolutely.
She is
You don't
a
want to
fan.
mix them up, the day one and the night one. That would be terrible.
Producer Chris was mixing it last time we did this read. I was like, no, that's not the way that you do that. But yeah, no, thank you to our friends at Magic Mind, big supporter of WATP. And I swear by it. You guys know whenever we go and do live shows, I travel with it. I bring it with me. So one time I forgot, and I was very upset with myself. But we made it happen. All right. So Scorch has been doing PFG TV. We're actually the 1-year anniversary of him getting fired from the radio. So we know that he was. Yes. Well, yeah, right.
Wow.
You could say that a lot, I guess. But yeah, Scorch was in some rural area of Wisconsin and was fired. And so he decided it's time to reboot PFG TV.
Some are on and some deranged stories that are very strange. Weird news.
I love it.
It's the best. All right. Now, Scorch comes back to the new year, and he's got his co-host, Megan, who there's a weird sexual energy going on that's one direction. It's just Scorch towards Megan, and Megan is repulsed by him. And we've been witnessing this. So there's going to be some of that going on. But this episode is called the Here's to the Future episode. And Scorch is doing better than Opie. This video has almost 5,000 views on it.
Nice.
It's commendable, really. It's pretty impressive. So he starts off, as he always does. He's got a live studio audience there with him, or should I say live audience at the bar that he's at.
In here.
Hey, you guys and gals, welcome to this. Wow, you guys just stopped clapping all of a sudden.
We're trying to listen to you.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
You're like E.F. Hutton, brother.
I love that he starts talking. I'm just like, all right, sitting out their hands. Guys, you got to keep the applause going. You're going nuts for me. What are you doing? Always starts off awkwardly. You can't just roll with it. Now, we hear about how 2024 ended for Scorch. He's on the couch, and he's watching the ball drop.
Before midnight
I was in tears because it was watching that ball drop was like saying bye to 2024, which for me was pretty much a sucky year. And say hello to 2025, which is going to be great. One thing for sure, though, and be prepared because it's going to be a part of the Scorch's PFG TV future. Next New Year's Eve, okay, we are going to be in Times Square.
One way or the other?
Okay. Yeah, because I'm going to tell you
We will
something.
be there.
I was
So
watching.
if you're a terrorist, now's your time to start planning.
No. I was watching
Jeez.
CNN.
What are these instincts from Megan?
Funny stuff.
We should go to Times Square and watch the ball drop in person. Oh, okay. Well, now everyone's going to try to kill us. Thanks a lot for announcing that. Scorch is not a huge target. He's not on the list, I don't think.
That's a terrible idea, though.
Yes.
Also, that Times Square experience seems like a nightmare. You
Yep,
can't
it's-
drink.
it's for tourists.
Yeah, it's all
foreigners.
Yeah, it is all foreigners, and you can't drink. There's nowhere to piss. How is that fun? It's a terrible idea.
And you live in New York for a long time. You ever head down to Times Square?
I was there once when I was at Caroline's, right there on
right.
Broadway, watching a show on New Year's Eve. And 5 minutes before midnight, everyone goes out in front of Caroline's. 10, 9, 8. So you do the whole thing. You watch it. Yay. Back inside the Caroline's, watch the show, drink. So, and use bathrooms and whatnot. But I would never fucking go there just to see the ball drop.
So I'll tell you why he has to do this. He's watching CNN, and CNN does a thing where who's they have Anderson Cooper and the other gay guy.
Yeah, they drink.
Andy Cohen.
And so they did a thing where for the last 5 minutes, they didn't talk at all. You just heard the sounds of New York and the people in the crowd and the celebrations. And Scorch is on there not knowing what he's doing with his life anymore. He's not making any money. He's poor. He has no job. Radio's dead. He's bawling.
He's in love with Megan.
He's in love with Megan. He's bawling his eyes out. And he's going, this is beautiful. I have to get there next year. Like, that's literally, he tells that story. That he wants to be there to experience this. It's like, dude, it's not that great. You'll be fine. Just be wherever. Watch it on TV. But this is why we have to talk about this episode.
Now
The future plan.
But now it's going to be different.
Yeah,
now,
way different.
Yeah, now we're going to announce a little bit later on what's coming up in the future for the TV show. Megan is going to be part of the TV show in the future. And Mike and I have got something going on that is going to involve the entire country.
Yeah, so you guys in the chat room, if you want to meet up,
Yep.
just let us know. We'll
Yep.
come find you.
Yep.
Oh.
So, Mike,
Book
first of all,
signing.
here's to
Book
your retirement.
So his roommate, Mike, just retired from his job.
Promoting Six Flags.
It was a forced retirement, apparently. We don't need you anymore. And so he's hinting at this new thing. It sounds like it's going to be a national tour.
He's done this for years. Every iteration of PFG TV is him talking about how huge it's going to be, and it just goes nowhere.
Well, I will tell you this. I'm going to tease this. This is going to be different. He's got a new plan.
Oh, okay.
There's something new in store.
Awesome.
But I will say, like, I believe you used to follow the dead a little bit.
Yeah. I dabbled.
Yeah, you dabbled in following the dead. I would follow Scorch around, you know? What do you guys think? Just for a month or so?
I can't think of a bigger waste of time.
Just grilled cheese sandwiches and Scorch for a month? Come on. All right, I guess I'm going alone. So you see that they always start off the show with a shot. Now, something that I've been observing is that Scorch is like really into alcohol lately. He used to be talking about weed all the time. And was it the day after Thanksgiving, they all went over to Megan's house? Yeah. And they cut out almost the entire episode because they got really drunk. And we don't know what happened, but it seemed like maybe he made some inappropriate moves at Megan or something.
In front of her kids.
Yeah,
The
with
kids
children
are
there.
Yeah. So they do the shot at the beginning of the show. The shot is called a Washington apple. You're familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Chad outed you as a bartender, so I thought you might know. Well, no, I'd never heard of a Washington apple.
Doxed.
Apple liqueur and Crown, I believe.
Okay. So apparently it's very strong. And Megan has a hard time with it. And then I can't believe what Scorch says here.
I think that I'm growing hair out of my nose. Whoa!
Holy crap, that was interesting. And what was that supposed to be?
That was a Washington apple, but
Yeah,
that was
certainly
not a
was.
Washington apple.
That tasted like a Washington senator baseball player.
My insides are inflamed.
So Scorch says that tasted like a baseball player. First off, I just want to address that first. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That joke was a Washington general.
Well, maybe if he said Mickey Mantle or like someone who's known, I don't, whatever. But he says a Washington Senator baseball player. The Washington Senators last played in 1960. How old is this guy that he's making a reference to the Washington Senators?
It's
Am I right,
topical.
kids?
And a host should never be on his phone Unless it's something on your phone that you're bringing up for the show, he's just scrolling as she's talking.
Yes.
It's the worst thing you could do if you're trying to host a program.
Yeah, when he first started doing this new PFG TV from bars, he actually had a desk, and then there was a couch, and he'd be behind the desk. And remember, they had the wheel of meat?
Yeah.
He brought back the wheel of meat.
The wheel of meat.
Just fantastic.
Douche your dressing. Douche your dressing.
But now he's just sitting there in a high top next to her with his phone out and getting distracted by it and talking about the Washington Senators. Things get really awkward in the middle of this episode.
What, does he bring up the Brooklyn Dodgers?
Did you ever think about if you had to date today?
Ugh.
Okay.
Well, we can go down that road if we want.
So he says, if you had to date today, just bring up the word date in front of Megan, and that's a visceral reaction. Ugh. She doesn't want to talk about that with him.
How much money it must cost to date today? Because if you date, if you don't find the right person, even if you do find the right person, you're going to go out for more than one date. How much does a date cost? Like a legit date? Dinner, maybe a drink or two, a movie, a concert, a show, anything. How much does a date cost these days?
I don't think I make enough money to discuss
Right.
that. That's
You find her.
Oh no, this is
Wow,
so
this
sad.
is uncomfortable.
This is so sad. How much does a date cost? I mean, there's dinner, and then she wants to go to a movie too. I don't have that kind of budget. What?
Flowers when you're courting.
I feel so bad. He's asking around in the audience too. Like, if anyone go on dates, they didn't know how much it costs. This is bizarre.
Well, she's disgusted at the idea, and he's just like, I can't afford to treat a woman nice.
Yeah, she's like, well, I'm not buying, so guess there won't be a date.
What a stupid question.
The dumbest question possible.
Yeah, the movie doesn't cost more if you're on a date. Just figure out what a movie costs. That's what it costs.
Dinner with her on a date would probably cost a little more.
I could break the bank.
Just a tad more than a.
Okay, so this gets worse.
At this age,
a man of a certain age.
do you still, at any age, guy or girl, let's just say that.
Okay.
What age do you stop French kissing?
French?
It's starting to feel really uncomfortable. Like I'm talking to my dad about.
Well, is that not legitimate?
Oh, that was, she shut him down right there. What a weird question. At what age do you stop French kissing? When
What age do you stop? What age do you stop heavy petting? What is he French kissing?
French kiss.
Hickeys.
What
yay
about
or nay?
Greek? What age do you stop Greek?
It's starting to feel really uncomfortable. Like I'm talking to my dad
No,
about.
is that not
sex.
a legitimate
I
question?
don't think you.
Are we
ever
talking about
do.
French kissing your mom or your date? Because that should stop
No, I don't
immediately
think-
if it's your mom. But
Yeah, I don't think you do stop.
Have you, Bobby?
He's like, are you making a mockery out of my question?
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes,
just
and
stopped
yes.
my toothpick kept hitting the girl's tongue.
I was thinking about that too when he's talking about French kissing. We had a clip of Scorch not that long ago where he dropped the toothpick out of his mouth and he had to end the show.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. He freaked out. He has to have that toothpick in his mouth.
Oh, it's he knows it's his thing.
It's also like a weird crutch. It's an addiction
Yeah.
he has going on. So what age do you stop French kissing? And they're all looking at him like, what do you mean? I don't understand the question. And this is proof that Scorch does not get laid. And it's been a while.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know when it's time to like go in for the kill? Like, how do you know when it's
What's
time?
the kill?
How do you,
Sex?
how do you know when it's time to actually? Like, I would not be able to know.
I'm pretty sure when you're starting to take off your
Yeah.
clothes, you're in.
When my
Especially
pants
a
are on the
man of a
ground,
certain
it's
age.
time.
We're not playing like first base.
We're not
and
playing
we're
spin
seeing
the
how that's
bottle
working out.
and-
Yeah, no. I think you're just when I'm committing time to be in your house instead of someplace that's not your
If you-
house,
let
and
me-
I'm
let me
taking
just
my
say
shirt
this,
off or
if you-
slipping my pants off, oh, you're in.
If
And
you
if
don't
you're not
know-
in, you're a whip.
If you don't
Yeah.
know,
That's my
then
problem.
You don't know, and
Yeah,
you won't
okay.
fucking
Yeah,
buy one.
maybe this is why ladies aren't coming to your house at
That is-
night.
yeah, no,
You're like,
no, that's
why
not
are you
it.
naked on my bed?
That is my problem.
Ooh, then he goes scrolling again.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
When you're playing spin the bottle, how long after the bottle stops do you French kiss?
6 minutes in heaven.
6 minutes in heaven or post office. All these great games. It's Scorch.
Can you believe he doesn't know about making out with a girl or how sex works? He's like, yeah, no, literally, I don't get it. What do you mean? How does it work? They sign a contract?
What's everyone laughing at?
Yeah. He was listening so hard to what she was saying. He was like, tell me more.
Move in for the kill. How romantic.
Yeah.
Move in for the kill. Once I got her down and she can't get away, is that when I make my move?
So I'm biting her throat out, and when do I go for it?
Holy shit. What a wild... How old is Scorch? Do you know, Ann?
He's got to be mid-60s.
Yeah, okay. That's what I would have guessed, too. Probably he's been around a long time.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know how sex works. Just based on these last couple questions, well, the last 3 questions. How much does dating cost? Do you French kiss when you get older? And
Can I borrow some money?
I don't remember that question, but how long has it been since he's gotten laid? Like decades. It has to be, right?
Yeah, he doesn't remember.
AAF. WAAF when he was doing fucking 7 to midnight.
He hasn't gotten laid since he was pawked in a claw.
Yeah.
All right, so he's got big plans, as we teased already. I'm finally going to reveal what is going on in 2025. This is going to be, he said 2024 was a terrible year. He was talking about how he was fired from the radio station, and he said it was very unprofessional. He was in a meeting, and 2 minutes later, he's in his car. They walked him out immediately.
Yeah, that's radio.
Yeah, I know. And he wouldn't tell you why he was fired. He's like, now listen, they might have their reasons or whatever, but it's just very unprofessional. So he knew why he got fired. And so he's very upset about that, and he's still reeling from it. He hasn't made any money since then. He's very poor. He lives with that other guy. Those two are roommates.
He has an adult,
a roommate at that age.
roommate.
Just, oof.
It's so weird that you could not like get something to do to make some money. There's got to be something he could do to get some. He's just completely poor.
Cameos.
that's how all the celebrities are doing it. That's for sure.
Oof.
So this is the big announcement.
About maybe 7 weeks ago, maybe a little bit more than that, give or take, right? A couple of months ago, I was sitting home, and I'm realizing, gee, damn it, broke, and we got stuff to do. And then I started thinking about weed maps. Weed maps.
Weed? What?
You
were thinking about weed?
Weed maps is basically yellow pages for dispensaries.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Weed maps, it's a very lucrative business, very lucrative company. All of a sudden, I said to Mike, I said, hey, I looked online and this domain name is available. Let's get it and let's work on this. And I wish, I want you to like talk about this, then run back there to play the commercial so people see what we're talking about.
Okay.
Because
I think he's got long legs.
No, Ray just doesn't understand that part
like
yet.
a gazelle.
Yeah, like a gazelle.
Gazelle.
So
training
where's
today.
the switch here?
Damn.
So you've heard us,
Right here.
you've heard us talk about this company in the past couple of weeks. The company is called Raiden. Can you get
Raiden, yeah.
Can you get that right there? Dive Bar Locator, and the slogan is, "Where being a dive bar don't mean shit." Because in other words, being a dive bar doesn't mean you're a crappy bar. It means you're a fun bar.
Yeah.
And so Dive Bar Locator is going to be traveling across the country.
Yes, we're going to be in the motorhome, traveling to our tropical destination.
But not as a couple.
Not
But
as a
not
couple.
as a couple.
Clarify,
Don't-
not as a couple.
You know what?
Whatever.
I
If
have-
you want to think that,
Think whatever you want.
Holy shit. This is your Scorch. I love this.
I know. And his big idea, an epiphany, 7 weeks ago, he goes, wait a second. What if people are looking for a dive bar and they don't know where to find one? What if we drove to every bar in America?
Yeah. Get in a motorhome and go to dive bars and what? Like put them up where people will know where they are. And
yes,
that's the thing about dive bars they are purely local.
Right.
And only locals go to them and they know where it is. They're not looking to go to another dive bar. They have their dive bar, Scorch.
And they don't want two 60-year-old drunk homos coming in and telling everybody where they are.
Right.
But this is such a weird fantasy to have where he's just like, I got a great idea. You know how you like to get drunk every night? Yes, I do too. What if, and hear me out, we just take your motorhome where we now live and just drive to bars every day?
I think he thinks it's like, remember on Curb when Costanza came up with the app to show where the bathrooms were in New York?
Yes.
This is probably, he's inspired by that and going, dive bars, I could do that. I could do the same thing, but only with dive bars.
Nope. That's exactly what it is, because he goes on to elaborate on this lucrative idea.
Oh,
I have no problem saying that this is going to be a huge living. You know it. We've talked about it. This is going to be a huge living and a great way for us to like keep
I just
things
left
going.
my job that
Yep.
was
Mike made
quite
$1.5
lucrative.
million a year, and he's out working with me now. We're also still in the future, so you know, this version of Scorch's PFG TV will probably be done a couple of months, but
depending on the weather.
Yep, but there's more coming. And Raiden, you're going to be included in it. Don't you worry. We told you that.
He looks terrified.
Megan's going to be included in it. We've already talked to you
I'm
about it.
also terrified.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we still have a lot to do, but be on the lookout because divebarlocator.com, okay? The app for the Apple Store is going to be available within the next month or so, give or take. We're working on the app for the Android store as well.
We're working on the
and
app.
it's an amazing thing. You're looking for a dive bar. You can just punch in your location where you're at, and the dive bars that are in that area will pop up.
You know what
$1
app
billion
developments cost to develop an app and have it and then have it put on Apple? You don't just put an app on Apple like that.
It's got to get approved by the store. Yep.
Impossible.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking impossible what he's talking about.
I've lived in this world of trying to develop apps and get them approved, and they need to maintain them, and it's constant maintenance because as the operating systems get upgraded and the hardware gets upgraded, you have to change your app and the specifications, and it's nonstop.
It's a pain in the ass, believe me. I know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
You've also dealt in this world quite a bit.
Yeah,
the last 5 years.
So Scorch, and one of the worst ideas ever.
It's incredible. So he says they're going to take a couple months off PFG TV because they're getting the app developed and the website and everything like that, and they're going to start driving down. The first place they're going is the Keys because it's wintertime.
Who's got this motorhome?
The roommate, this guy behind him.
Oh, okay.
Owns a motorhome. So this is him talking about the tour they're about to embark on.
To Florida and all the way around.
I mean, that's basically our plan. After we go to Florida, we'll hang out in the Keys for a few weeks, and then.
And it wouldn't be Scorch PFG TV without horrible audio tech issues coming up in just a moment.
Oh,
Once spring breaks on the East Coast, we'll head up the East Coast to.
Gonna see my mama.
Go to see Bobby.
Well,
We're
that's
coming
see
for
my
you, Bobby.
mama. Yep.
Well, this is
and,
nice for you guys to be able to go and see the country and enjoy your life.
And we realize that every time we talk, and it's to the point now where we got to say it.
Battery's dying.
Business partner, my business, but we're not partners like that, you know. But people are certainly going to think.
And really, if you think we are, bring your girlfriend, your wife. I'll have a party with them.
Oh, sure. Well, Mike.
There's a lot of talk about how they're not gay.
Right.
They're roommates, and they're going to be driving around and living in this motorhome together, but they're not gay.
That is the sound of a dead battery. He probably pried it out of an old Coleco football game. I touched it to my tongue. It was tingling, so I figured it was good.
And the crazy thing is that his roommate is the audio engineer on the show. And then there's another guy in the back they referred to a couple of times who's also producing and running cameras and stuff. Like, he's been doing this for a year now, and they still can't figure it out. We played an episode. I pulled too many clips. The audio was so bad, everyone was pissed at me for pulling clips of it. It was like, it's
What did Uncle Junior do for a living that he's got all kinds of money?
He doesn't, though. That's the thing. He retired. He's 55. He talked about this earlier in the episode.
Holy shit. That's a hard 55.
He retired at the age 55, even though, he would have gotten his full package at 65. So he cashed in his 401k, and he's just sinking all of his money into, this venture right here.
App.
Dive bar locator. Where being a dive bar don't mean shit.
And there's nothing There's nothing on it yet. Oh, what are the bars that they've had time to go to? It's just like all the bars that we managed to drive to this week.
Yep.
It's not every bar. It's just
So
it's a diary of alcoholism is what it is.
Yeah,
This
so
is where we drank.
Yeah, so right now it's just places in Wisconsin, like near them that they've gone to. Check out the pricing. You guys are going to love this. So this is what they're pitching. They're going in and trying to sell this. They're going in and getting drunk places and then trying to sell
Holy
the
shit.
owner. So there's the lifetime basic. Now, what I love about this rate card is that auto renew is checked on all of these. It's $200 a year, but don't worry, it auto renews.
Oh, phew.
Yeah, we got your credit card on file, and we will be charging it every 12
Wow.
months. So lifetime basic $200 a year, lifetime premium $350 a year, and then a lifetime bundle $1,200 a year.
He's going in for the kill.
But you get 20 photos with lifetime bundle though.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on a second. This has unlimited photos. Oh
Jesus, what
no!
happened?
No, they may want to rethink that one a little bit. But you can be in 2 categories, have 2 tags. This one unlimited tags. Wow.
HTML editor for description. Who even has websites in 2025?
Yeah, because we might update our Taco Tuesday special at some point, so we want to get in there and.
Wow. So he would charge these dive bars to be included in divebarlocator.com?
Correct. That's the big $1 million idea here. And they're going to make a killing. This is one of those fantasies you have when you're in college and you're like, I don't want to get a real job, man. Let's just like tour around and just go to bars and we'll start an app.
Amazon started in a garage.
Right. Yes. So, yeah.
God bless him. I have
he's
never
lost his
seen
mind.
such a positive outlook for someone who has been nothing but drilled into the dirt for decade upon decade. And he still seems to come out with optimism and energy to pursue some dream. So God bless Scorch.
Honestly, alcoholism usually leads to lethargy. So
Yes.
good on him. Like,
Yeah, there's hope for us all.
Right. He's not John just going to Stevie Tomatoes at 3:00 every day. He's like, no, I'm going to turn this into a money-making enterprise.
I'm an idea man.
Yes. So that's fantastic. I'm so excited about this.
Love
we'll be
it.
keeping an eye on Scorch, and props to him for trying something new. It's great stuff. Here's a guy who doesn't try anything new.
Ba, 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 ba.
All right. So, Opie, and thank you, Anthony, for sending this to me. We were sitting at the Joe Matarese show last night, and you sent me a text saying, oh, Opie just dropped a new walking around New York City video. We'll probably want to check out some of this. And boy, did I. How much did you watch, Ant?
I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
Like, for how much Opie likes to say he doesn't know anything that's going on with me or Jimmy or Sam or anyone else in the O&A universe, I am completely the opposite. I will watch every single thing Opie puts out because it's just I'm beside myself when I watch this stuff. I just don't understand it.
You sat next to this guy for 20 years as you grew this radio show in an audience of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people.
Amazing.
And then to turn all of that into this is, you can't even fathom it. You're like,
Stunning.
How is this possible? It's stunning that someone would do this.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so fun to watch. And so, so Opie's walking around Manhattan and he's reading the chat and reacting to it as usual.
Of course.
The obsession for for Opie and Anthony is so crazy to me. Whatever. Hope this becomes a community. It should. It's definitely interesting. So every time I go live, walking the streets, it's either something really cool or a dud. But it's
Yep. Those are the two things that can happen. It can be something cool
Mostly,
or not.
mostly a dud.
Yep.
But I've noticed too, he starts addressing things that I've brought up when I critique his various shows. He'll bring up these things and not saying, "Hey, Anthony, I do that," but he'll just address things that I've talked about, which is interesting.
Yeah. It's either people are chirping in his ear,
Yeah.
or he's obsessed with this stuff too. And
He
he's watching it.
watches everything. Do you don't think he knows how many views I get on a video or Jimmy gets on his new show?
Oh.
He knows to the friggin' decimal point.
He does. In fact, I'm going to prove that in just a moment. But I just want to point out the way this clip just started. He's like, "Oh, the obsession over Opie and Anthony is so crazy to me." So obviously somebody put in the chat something about the Opie and Anthony show. It's because you're Opie from Opie and Anthony. You've done nothing since then. That's why people still talk about, if you were in the Fighter and the Kids chat, no one's talking about Opie and Anthony on there.
Yeah, what else are they gonna talk about?
Right.
And notice he doesn't put the chat up on the screen in these videos.
You're right.
So because they're probably 99% now are either trolls or Opie and Anthony related, and he just wants to get comments about the awesome street videos he's doing.
Unleashed.
Anthony, either something cool is going to happen or something isn't going to happen.
Nothing.
So watch out. But let me just finish up this clip because, to your point, and I think he's addressing me directly.
Yes, he
never
is.
know. Way better than someone sitting in a basement just babbling about other live streamers. Who cares?
He's walking around saying nonsense. He's like, but this is way better than some guy in his basement making fun of me.
In his basement. Now, obviously, Shuley, I think, is at ground level, his where he broadcasts from.
Right.
I believe you are the only one in a basement.
I think it's well established that I am in my basement when I broadcast. Yes.
I've been there. I've seen it. You walk downstairs to get to where you are right now. So
if I had this wood paneling upstairs, I probably wouldn't have bought the house. Yes, that's correct.
So he is talking about you, and it's funny because we were listening to this yesterday, watching it, me and Missy B, and right when he said that, I turned and went, "Oh, he means Carl."
Yes. Okay, good.
It's obvious.
Because I don't want to be like myopic and think like, "Oh, he must be talking about me." But that was my first thought.
No.
I'm glad I'm not alone on that.
Blatantly obvious.
So he's triggered by Jim. Oh, you watched this too, Andy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have some
I'm looking
clips.
at the clips and they're all the same. So
Probably.
just move forward.
Okay. Yeah. If there's anything I missed, let me know.
Yeah.
So he's triggered by Jim Norton's name, as he always is.
Oh yeah.
Where would you have your first podcast appearance? Bob Kelly, Rogan, or Norton? No, I wouldn't do anything with Norton. Norton. Yeah, I'm bitter and I'm jealous. Yes, of course I am. He started like a solo podcast and it's already crushing. It's like, I don't get Norton anymore. I got it back in the day. Yes, of course I did. I don't get it.
I should have that Grandpa Simpson going, "What's it you ain't with anymore?" And it seems wild and crazy to you, whatever the quote is. Yeah, like Opie's completely out of it. He's like, when Jim Norton left Sirius and started up this advice show that he's doing.
Yeah.
It's called Jim Norton Can't Save You. Opie's like, no one's going to watch that. Who's going to take advice from Jim? It doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it's a comedy show. He's not really giving out real advice. Opie. Opie's like, I don't get it. So far, Jim has had TJ Miller and Nick Mullen on. He's done 2 episodes. 93,000 views on the Nick Mullen one he just dropped. I watched it. It's hilarious. Those 2 guys together, fantastic. There's callers calling in. They don't give him real advice at all. It's a joke show.
I'll tell you, it's going to beat that viewer count? When I do his show next weekend on Saturday, we are taping an episode. I'm going to be in New York, and I'm doing Legion of Skanks on that Monday, the 27th, following that. But I love it.
Awesome.
I'll do Jimmy's show. I cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That is great because it's really nice to see. I know Jim's doing the thing with Nikki, his wife, and they do interviews. And the Ron Bennington episode is fantastic, and that's kind of funny because he married Chip, so that's kind of funny. But it's nice to see Jim with comics again, not playing a character or anything like that, just being himself. So that's doing very well.
Love it.
Yeah, that's the real thing about Opie saying, "I don't get it." Well, it's because he's funny. You don't know how to get it.
Right.
That's what you don't get. is how to make a funny show. And we were at the club last night. Jim Norton is already on the calendar for this coming October, 9 months away. And somebody was like, "Oh, that's an old ad for that. That's from last October." No, they're already booking him that far out because he's that funny.
Yeah.
People want him.
Oh, he
to
does.
be
He does
there.
great in Rochester.
Yeah,
He always
and-
does.
He
And
sold
he's like,
out the
"Oh."
mothership in Austin.
That's awesome. That's
I don't
And,
get it.
you know, he's funny. Here's what it is with Opie. He doesn't get it. The second somebody isn't beneficial to Opie, he doesn't get them anymore. He got Jim fine when Jim was contributing to the show and making the O&A show better and funnier and more popular. But the second Jim couldn't do anything for Opie, now he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get me. He doesn't get anybody that doesn't isn't friends or associated with him anymore.
You just reminded me of something I want to talk to you about. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What he
Yeah.
doesn't get is Jim on his show. That's what he doesn't get.
He'll never get that. Yes.
But it's funny when he's trying to take credit for Opie and Anthony being successful, he'll say, "I'm the one who brought Jim Norton on the show."
Yeah.
Because he wants to let everybody know that was my decision. I recognize his talent and I brought him on.
Right.
So then Jim's great. And then now it's like, "Oh, no, actually Jim sucks and I don't get it and I don't know why anybody likes him."
Yeah.
But a similar thing just happened with you, Anthony, where he's trying to say that you've had the biggest fall from grace.
Right.
From a radio career. And the
Yes.
way he does the mental gymnastics to get there, because we all see what he's doing, is he says, "Yeah, but Anthony is so much more talented than me. And he should be making $100 million with his own Spotify deal." The fact that he's not shows that he's a failure. And it's like, whoa. Now all of a sudden, because you want to put him down, you're saying he's the greatest talent ever on the radio?
Yeah. I saw that.
How did that come about? That's
Like, wow, what an insult.
Now Anthony's just wearing those wild glasses.
Yeah, my crazy glasses.
Well, I
Look
think
out.
Pat Cooper for
Look
going on the
out.
show today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Opie, depending on the point he's trying to make, will say two wildly different things, like polar
Yes.
opposites of each other to make the point. All right, so this is he walks over to the fire station here.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes. And there's a little memorial for
I'm stunned how
know.
stupid this man is.
This is great.
And this firehouse absolutely lost a bunch of guys. Their memorial used to be a lot bigger. Then some asswipe, they just throw their energy bar. I can't even reach it. They throw their, hold on. They throw their energy bar in the middle of the, God, what assholes. Oh, whatchamacallit. Jackasses.
And so he takes a full candy bar that's still in its wrapper,
Yeah.
pulls it out, and chucks it on the ground on the sidewalk.
Throws it on the sidewalk. And the first thing I thought, now I'm not sure of this, but who throws away full candy bar into a 9/11 fireman memorial at a firehouse? Wouldn't you maybe consider the fact that that was a fellow firefighter or someone that knew a firefighter that died on 9/11? Maybe it was his birthday. Maybe he loved whatchamacallits. Maybe his little catchphrase, he always said, like, "What's that whatchamacallit? Whatchamacallit?" And he was known as Whatchamacallit Johnson at the firehouse. And that was put there as like an offering. And the fucking guy, when would any sane person take anything out of a memorial and throw it away?
And he acts like he's disgusted by it too.
Yes.
Anthony, I think you're spot on. I even saw people in the comments saying that. They're like,
Yes.
obviously that was put there on purpose.
Yeah, it's a thing. What's this cross by this telephone pole at this intersection?
Yeah, right.
Pull that out. That's terrible.
Why are there flowers here?
Yeah.
What's this person's random
Why are there
name?
baby shoes hanging off of this grave?
He pisses on the baby. Get out of here.
Yeah. Ugh, baby shoes. Who puts baby shoes by a little grave?
It'd be one thing if it was a rapper, just garbage.
Yeah,
Like,
a rapper might be saying, even then, you just don't take shit out of a memorial because you don't know what is being memorialized by who. It's so out of touch with anything. It's a dumb thing to do.
oh, he's so stupid. He doesn't get it.
No.
So then he peeks across the street from here and he sees a high school.
This is the high school. The high school that my kids will not go to. It's a little scary. I'm not going to lie to you. That high school's a little scary.
Okay, so
Why is it so scary? Yo?
Why is it scary? By the way, it's the Martin Luther King High School.
yeah, it's LaGuardia at MLK. Someone in the comments pointed out that it's a specialty performance art high school in New York that's graduated a ton of huge musicians and artists, including Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So it's a school,
but it's scary.
He doesn't understand what it is. He thinks it's like just this public high school. It's a private school for people with like super talents.
It's the Fame School. It's
right.
like
It's
one
what
of
it's
those
based on.
schools
Yes,
from
you're right.
Fame.
The movie Fame was based on this high school. And Opie's going, look at this piece of shit.
Look at this scary. He's like he'll call me a racist at the drop of a hat.
Yep.
And meanwhile, he's being so actually racist here.
Right.
Yeah.
Saying the school's scary. What does that mean?
Yeah,
there
we're a little
is
too far
Dracula
north.
in there?
We're a
Is
little
the
too far
Wolf
north
Man in
for
there? What's scary?
MLKJ High School. I wonder
Yeah.
what that's full of. I'm scared.
Yeah, meanwhile, they're singing, I want to live forever on the sidewalk.
The other thing he says is he goes, a lot of people don't know this because they think of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as UCLA. And
Yeah.
Is that where he went to? I think UCLA, and then he was a Laker. He goes, but that's where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went to high school. And he did not.
Yeah.
I looked that up. He went to the Power Memorial High School, which I think a chatter points out to him later. But
we're gonna find out that he doesn't know a lot of things.
Yeah, but
Another thing, like he's so bad at this, incredibly bad at this. If you were going to do this walking around New York City thing, I'll give him some more advice because I know he watches all this.
Yep.
If you were going to do this, look at Google Maps, plot out a little course that lasts maybe a half hour, and find interesting locations that you could stop at every few minutes and give a little tidbit about the history of it or what it was in, or if it was in a movie, whatever it may be. And then you'll have material. You won't just walk around with your phone thinking that just recording in New York City is somehow gold.
Yeah.
Plan, do something.
Yeah. I mean, that would require a modicum of show prep. And
Right.
we
Yeah,
can't have
exactly.
that.
there would be some prep.
I don't
involved in
get
that.
it.
I've seen people steal it, rip off other people's ideas. I've seen people that go around, their faces on camera because they're not embarrassed about someone photoshopping a picture of him or whatnot. And they go to various locations. I watched one about a building in the Village, in Greenwich Village, and it's a triangular shaped old building. And in 1996, it was sold, but there's a thing in the old 1800s property deed that said it could only be used to help the homeless and poor of New York. And now these people are stuck with a building they can do nothing with because of these 1800 laws. And I'm like, he wrapped it up. He was concise. It looked and sounded good. And I'm like, this is interesting. I stayed for the whole video, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, whatever it was. But that's how you do New York videos. You don't do a 60-year-old man doing pranks and trolling.
Pranks or going into the Seinfeld restaurant over
Yeah.
and over again. He loves
Yeah.
going into that place. Like,
Exactly.
all the tourist
We've
stories.
seen.
But yeah, you're right. He thinks he knows stuff. He doesn't. So he's going around and telling you stuff that we find out is incorrect. And it actually reminds me of Tim Dillon, famously before he became a famous comic, was
Yeah.
a tour guide in New York City. And one of those double-decker buses where you stick
Right.
at the microphone. And he would literally make shit up and just like tell people. And people loved it. It was hilarious. If you
That's
can go
funny.
That way,
That's a
yeah.
funny bit. Like,
You
if
go
that's
that
your
way.
gimmick, that's awesome.
Right. But it's just like, oh, that school's scary. My kids.
Like
they won't be going there.
Kramer going around with the horse-drawn Hanson cab, and he's just telling people that Joe Pepitone built Central Park. It was just fucking hilarious. It was all wrong. That's
Right.
a funny bit.
Okay, so this actually, Aunt sent me a text about this. Someone in the chat's like, hey, can you show us some area that was famous from a movie?
Yeah, and this is kind of funny. I'll
This
give
is
credit
funny.
where credit's due.
Yes.
This is funny because he's kind of doing what we just talked about.
Yeah, he actually commits to it too, which I was impressed by it. For a second, I wasn't sure if he even knew that he was
Right.
These are the stairs made famous in the movie Rocky. Every day, people run up with the Rocky theme in their head, and then they pump their fists in the air.
Right.
So there you go. There's your movie location, the Rocky Stairs. That's cool. That's cool.
See, I'll give him credit for that. That's funny. Obviously, the good thing is everyone knows that the Rocky Stairs are in Philly. Everybody knows this.
Right.
So for him in New York, obviously, the stairs don't look nothing like the Rocky Stairs. And he just said, no, these are the Rocky Stairs. I get it.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'll give him credit on that one.
And I honestly was debating in my head if he is that stupid, but I know he has the Philly crew.
Yes, he knows
So,
Philly, dude.
He knows Philly. He's got the Philly crew. He
I
wouldn't
know
make that
Philly,
mistake.
dude.
All right. Oh, this is hilarious. I did a little editing on this one because Opie looks at this art that's just out there in the open. And this is such quintessential Opie to shit on something and then have this happen.
Yes.
But I don't know. I guess this is art. I don't know. Doesn't that just look like a bone? Like, what is it? What makes this art? Where somebody spent a lot of time on this and then they pretty much gave it to New York City? What?
That's all change. That is all change. Holy crap. As far as I can see, there's probably a ton more than milk because, people are putting changes on it because you want to hoist it.
Oh, damn, that's a cool shot. Holy shit, that's a cool shot.
Is it?
That's badass.
So he's looking at the art from behind and he's going, that looks like shit. I don't even get that. And then he walks around and he goes, holy shit, that's actually fucking sweet.
That's a great shot. And he's literally doing what you do with art, especially modern art or abstract art, where it's like, what is that, a bone? What does that mean? Like, yeah, you'll see different things in it. That's what the whole purpose of that art is. So he's saying he's not sure if it's art while describing it in a way that you describe modern abstract art.
But one of the pieces was covered up from the first angle that he was on. And then he walks around the corner and goes, oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Looking at the back of the Mona Lisa. What's this? Paper and a wire to hang it?
Why would they do that? So stupid. Oh, wow. Look at this painting. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this is funny. He's going to reminisce about his hilarious live streams of the past.
Oh. And that was also the live stream where I wanted to I just love doing these stupid things. People don't get it or they get bothered. Whatever, man. I love doing them. There was an Asian restaurant I went in and they had these stairs that were completely lit up, second floor. But they don't use the second floor. Maybe they use it for parties or something. So I went in there and I said, hey, this is the place with the portal. The portal. I got to go check out the portal. And then I tried to go upstairs to check out the quote portal. And they were like so confused and bothered by me. Oh, we loved it.
Remember when it's the lowest form of conversation.
Yes. That's all I could think of when Opie's going, oh my gosh, remember that time I did that thing? And everyone's like, whoa.
Hey, T, remember that time Opie put his feet in the fountain?
And the story was horrible. It's like we were going to go up these stairs and it wasn't open. The upstairs wasn't open. They told us not to.
Before we get away from the fountain, he starts talking about homeless people jumping in there and picking up the change. But it's a trope of an Opie stream that he says stupid shit in a stupid way. In my clip 13, I just called this one "Silly Wish," where
little wish for everybody watching. A toss-a-roo and a little plunk-a-roo. That was for you guys for checking out my live stream. Thank you. I hope you made a good wish. Hope you made a good wish. Mike Bergen Jr. Green
He does. That's ripping off Bennington.
Yes.
He does Bennington.
But in an annoying way.
It's in an everything he does, he's ripping off in an annoying way. I saw him earlier in the video. He's looking at electric car chargers. And he goes, the future. And like, that was my thing that I would do the old 40s voice. Well, what would life be in the future? And he just He just gets these things in his head. Howard things. He does a lot of Howard things. And he just doesn't know he's stealing it from people or doesn't care.
I think he doesn't know.
I think he doesn't know.
Yeah.
He just adopts these things and believes that he just came up with it.
He doesn't have a personality. We've talked about this many times. And so he's just an amalgamation of all these other people's personalities. And they all come out at weird times, so it doesn't make any sense how the voices he does and everything. And he does acknowledge that a lot of your fans have been in this chat lately.
Oh, big fan. He says, "Thank you, I appreciate it. I know the people are out there. I'm getting smothered by Anthony fans lately, but I know I got my people."
Yeah, I plug his fucking stupid websites, and I plug his social media platforms. No one knew what the fuck Opie Unleashed NYC was.
I know.
I want people to go over there. And I want people to look and go, what the fuck is this?
This video has a lot of views.
It does. It's one of his best he's ever done.
Yeah, no,
I didn't. I saw he had like quite a few thousand starting anyway when this was posted. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I send people over to him.
He usually takes down all the live stuff too. It'll stay up for a day and then he takes it down. So I wonder if he'll leave this one up because it's got.
Oh, he'll leave it up. Yeah. Believe me.
Like the coffee morning talking to the camera shit is a couple hundred. This one is several thousand.
Yeah. No, I've sent people over. He knows whenever he talks about me or whenever we have our annual spat on online, that it's going to get him views. It always has. So
I don't even want to do it anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
They're obsessed with me.
Like, why don't you just leave me alone?
Yeah.
So yes, he takes this moment to cross promote because this is on Opie Radio channel.
Yes.
He doesn't have as many people over on Opie Unleashed NYC yet.
Unleashed, look out.
So he does a little cross promoting.
For the people that like these walkabouts, you got to subscribe to my other channel, Opie Unleashed NYC. I'm using this channel to build up that one. It's all New York City stuff. Has nothing to do with Opie and Anthony. Although there's one video on there because people call me out. They're like, I thought this wasn't an Opie and Anthony channel, but I couldn't help myself. And actually, that video will be taken down soon.
Okay. So isn't that interesting? That he hears everything. He acknowledges it. He acts like he's not paying attention to it, but then immediately enters his brain. He has to, and then people are getting on me about doing this. It's like he reads every comment.
Every single comment. He watches every single other person's show that has anything in his little universe. So yeah, he's, it was an old Howard thing. Howard would do that. What? Who is that? I never heard of him.
Right.
I don't watch their show. I don't know what's going on with that person or this person. Full of shit. And Opie does the same thing. It's an old radio tactic.
Did you see? I think I pointed this out when we were checking out his show. Maybe it was on WATS, but we were looking at Opie's new channel, Opie Unleashed NYC. Go check it out.
Unleashed.
He was responding to every comment.
Oh.
Opie himself was going in and responding to every comment on YouTube. That's wild.
I've seen that.
That's a guy with a lot of time on his hands, and he acts like
and not too many comments.
Well, right, yeah, he's able to get to all of them. So
he's so fucking distracted whenever because he doesn't really do a show about anything. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but he reads the chat, and I've said it before. Anyone that's hosting a show, the last thing you should do is have a chat scrolling in front of your face during the show. It's different if you're doing a live stream. I go on a weekend and I'll game or something. And the live chat's going, super chats, whatever the fuck. If you're doing a show about something, you have prep, you're ready to fucking talk about a topic, turn that fucking shit off. It will do nothing but distract you. And nothing's worse than watching a host who's not listening or paying attention if there is a guest and they're just looking at the fucking chat for accolades or to block people. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to do as a host.
And it's worse than that. I see a lot of these guys fall into that. It's hard not to
Yeah.
stare at the chat. Like obviously Aaron Imholt does this all the time.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there reading the chat. But it's worse than that because Opie randomly puts up the chat for everyone to see. Like
Yes.
when he's at Gebhard's and stuff like that.
Gebhardt!
Yeah, which he pronounces Gebhardts for some reason.
Gebhardt. I don't know
Gebhardts.
what he fucking says.
So, but he'll put up these chats that are like inappropriate, insulting, hilarious, but not what he would find hilarious, and he'll leave them up there because he's not even paying attention. It's
He's not paying
distracting
attention.
everyone.
Yeah, he's not paying attention. You see him when he's at Gephardt's, and he's got like a couple of guys downstairs with him. They're doing the beer show. They're drinking some beer. And while one guy's talking and telling a story, you could tell Opie's not there. He's fixated on that chat to see if somebody's mentioning me or Jimmy or calling him a hack or unfunny. He's just waiting to pounce without paying attention to anybody else in the room.
It's like watching Joe Matarese last night.
Yeah.
Imagine if he could hear all of the chit chat at every single table. You know, that was all
Especially
becoming
our table.
Yeah, that was becoming text that was popping up, and he's like,
Right.
and all of that. Like, it's not a good way to do a show. I have one more clip from this that's going to lead to something. Andy, is there anything else that you had from Opie?
No, that was about it. That was two things. The whole thing obviously is full of, Opieisms and moronic dialogue and useless, worthless, boring video. But no, that about covered what I wanted to.
Well, he starts. Is it the? He's addressing
Norton.
Ant and Jimmy. And
I have a Norton.
it's right at the end.
No, it's not at the end. Okay, let me play your thing first.
Okay, I think it's clip 15 there.
Okay.
Ope keeps Ann far away from his children. Oh God, Anthony, I literally got a million reasons why I hate the guy. And one of them is he never gave a shit about feeding my kids, never gave a shit about seeing where I lived, left my wedding and took a group of people with him halfway through.
It's kind
Just
of funny.
garbage. He's just garbage. Imagine you got literally a business partner. We were business partners. And he has no desire to see, the place I bought. No desire to meet my kids. He did meet my son technically because my wife brought my kid in once very quickly while I was doing a radio show. But whatever. Just garbage.
Yeah, we
reminds
were
me of-
business partners.
It reminds me of the scene from Star Wars where it's just like, he doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
I don't like you either.
It's like, yeah,
It's-
Opie, take the hint.
And then he says it. He goes, we were business partners. Yeah, I don't go over your house.
Right.
I don't care to see your kids. I hope you have a great, happy life with your wife and kids. But why the fuck am I obligated to go see where you live?
Because
and
that's
do
the
that? And
measure
I've
of a
said it
friendship.
before. I had never been
Right.
to Jimmy's place, Travis's place, E-Rock's place, Sam. I never went to anyone's house that I worked with. I had a great working relationship with a lot of people, and I am friends with Jim Norton. He's a dear friend. I've been over his place since. But what a bitch.
Yes.
That's your argument. A
still
million
holding on to
reasons.
that.
No, more. Tens of millions of reasons why you
Yes.
should love me, motherfucker. Never mind a million reasons to hate me.
It's crazy he's still holding on to that. He's been complaining about that since after you were fired from the
And
series.
what type of pretentious fuck has a 2-day wedding?
Oh, it was a 2-day
It was it was the wedding and then the reception and then the next day was a whole nother thing. Fuck you. Yeah.
The
I was in
recap.
Philly. Me and a bunch of guys decided we wanted to go to the Borgata in Atlantic City. We went to the wedding, we went to the reception, and when we were done, we hopped in a limo and went off to the Borgata. Sorry, I couldn't make day 2 of the Greg Hughes extravaganza fucking wedding.
Wow. What a pretentious asshole.
Yes.
Wedding. It's fucked up.
Unbelievably pretentious.
Some people got on with their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I have money to win.
All right. So last clip I have on here, and I was referring to Jim Norton, and there's this guy who writes into the show that he reads the comments of a lot.
So I'm not Jimmy Stewart. Brother, you you gave me the Norton video today, right? I just posted it on this channel, right? You were asking me about his wife. You said it differently. And I put that video up on the channel this afternoon.
Okay, so he's referring to, and this is fantastic. So not Jimmy Stewart's in the chat, and he goes, oh yeah, you gave me that chat the other day. I made a video out of that. So this is Opie admitting he's the one who's curating this. Because I've always wondered when these videos come out with these clickbait titles and Jim Norton's a garbage and Anthony's a piece of shit, like all these titles that tries to get people, Sam's the worst of them all. And I'm always like, is this a guy who works for Opie who just knows how to get people to click, or what's going on here? So he just admitted that this is his doing to make these videos. I'll show you what this video looks like. I have some thoughts on this.
Are you scared of Jim Norton's man wife, not Jimmy Stewart? If I was going to be honest, I would say a little bit.
So this is a free chat. Opie put up on the screen.
Yeah.
Didn't need to. It's insulting to Jim. He knows that. And he's using the chat to say the things that he doesn't have the balls to say.
Exactly.
This is a pussy move by Opie right here. And then he puts it out as a separate video to make sure everyone sees it.
At 4:30 in the morning.
One of his shitty streams, yeah.
A little bit.
Funny stuff.
A little bit.
Good stuff. Say it again.
She's huge, right? She's really tall, right? Doesn't she come from the land where all the strong men come from, where they just lift fucking truck tires and throw it over a mountain? Doesn't she come from there? So I would, not Jimmy Stewart. I don't know. You're sort of a hater, but you also give me good stuff. So, if I was going to be honest today, I would say a little bit, a little bit.
So he even admits right there, like not Jimmy Stewart's the guy who trolls Opie.
Yeah, yeah.
But he had to put that up to get a shot in at Jim and his wife.
Right. Yeah. He doesn't care, troll or anybody, as long as it suits what he wants to put out there.
Yep. Good stuff, Opie. Little bit.
With his fucking supposed to be diabolical fake laugh.
Yeah. Very fake. It doesn't end there.
A little bit. I'm not scared of Jimmy. God, no. I used to be in the same gym as Jim Norton, and he would work out. It was hilarious to watch. He would try boxing and stuff, and I can't even imitate how he would throw punches. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I was like, you ain't hurting anybody. You can't even punch through styrofoam, my man. You can't punch through styrofoam.
Good one.
All right. But you said it, so I'll say it. His man wife, yeah, a little bit.
What an asshole.
Are you scared?
Yeah.
What a giant asshole that he calls him out for his workouts at the gym. Now, I've met Jim a few times. We've hung out. I don't think he thinks of himself as a tough guy. I've never got that impression. The Jim's just like, put him up. I'll take you down.
Never.
The guy got into shape, He lost a lot of weight. He started going to the gym a lot. Nobody's just like, yeah, you should see him at the gym. He looks like a pussy. Like,
what's with this whole thing these days of fucking 60-year-old men talking about how rough and tumble tough they are, ready to brawl at a moment's notice? It's insane. Him, John, Chad,
Aaron Imholtz.
Brennan.
Yep.
Like, all these guys talk about how they're ready to just square off and start swinging. They break a fucking hip.
Yes.
The first fucking punch they threw, their graham cracker pelvis would snap.
I'm glad you brought that up because Will B sent this in. This is a guy from guy's named Ryan Upchurch. He has 3.3 million subs on YouTube. And 2 years ago, he brought this up, and it's just perfect for the Dabbleverse right now.
And the thing is, it's like, all these people that want to box and this, that, and the other, no one's a boxer. Like, if you wanted to box somebody, go box a boxer. Go be a boxer, Don't just be like, hey, I'm a fucking a guy that doesn't box. I want to box another guy that doesn't box. That just sounds dumb. Like, boxers will watch that and be like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Like, you know what I mean? It just looks stupid as hell.
Well put.
Yes, well put.
Yeah, but that's the world we're living in now. And everyone's challenging everyone to boxing matches all the time.
Or they're calling each other pedos, which is
Yeah, pedos is a good one.
Yeah,
I've had that put on me years
yeah.
ago. I was a pedo pioneer back in the.
You really were. Yeah, you were one of the first. It's amazing. There's all these pedophiles on the internet who are front facing. Everyone knows where they live and who they are, and none of them get arrested or go to jail.
No,
It's crazy how this works.
Quite amazing.
He's so jealous of Jimmy, and he has to take a low blow.
So does Jimmy.
But these people that can't distinguish a joke from reality,
right?
And in my clip there, the 16, it's just like, okay, you really believe this?
I'll tell you. All right, you want something really good today? All right, screw it. Because someone said, but Uncle Paul wanted to meet your kids. Yes. So Jimmy absolutely met my kids
Paul's
and came over to my house.
Right.
And I had two different people come up to me and basically told me, I swear this is true. I will not tell you which two people. And they basically said to me, don't ever let that guy with your kids alone. They said that.
Oh my!
They were creeped out by him. That's the real stuff. As those asses took shots at me over and over again for years and years, I just sat there trying to take the high road. They literally pulled me aside and said, you don't really let them around your kids, do you?
Holy shit!
What an asshole.
There you go. There's the real stuff.
That's not
The real stuff.
It's not real. That's the definition of hearsay.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, it's like his wife's family members, like they just know Jimmy for bits on the show, don't know him from a fucking hole in the wall, but they know him for bits on the show. And they're like, you don't let him near those kids.
Yeah,
I'm not an expert.
What the fuck is Jimmy gonna do?
I'm not an expert on this, but I'm pretty sure that if you are out there with a character that's a pedophile, you're probably pretty secure that you're not one of those people.
Right.
Or else
right,
you wouldn't be advertising
Who's
it.
that old guy over there? Uncle Paul with the creepy old guy stare. Uncle Paul, now he's coming over here, slowly limping down the hall. It's too late now, 'cause here comes Uncle Paul.
Let me show you how to make a big boy love you.
Still one of my favorite characters.
It's funny.
When he did Uncle Paul on Amy Schumer's show.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest bits. Just the
Fucking
way he had
great.
to shave his head. For
Just
that.
slandering a man like that.
Yeah. Oh no, it's all real.
Yeah, that's the real stuff. My in-laws who hated him on the show told me not to have him around the kids.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, by the way.
Right.
It's real.
We have to get into this Chad John stuff. It's not going to take a
sure.
long time. Do you have time for us, Anthony?
Oh, I'm here.
Awesome.
Let me
I
go
appreciate
grab a beverage and I'll be right back. So cue it up,
Sounds
tee it
good.
up, however you want to
Love
put it
it.
up.
Let's go. Gakia. Oh, I was telling these guys before we started the show, Adam Thoreau, longtime contributor to WATP, figured out the John chord. He sent it to me. I played it on the guitar. Now, it's not exact because the guitar has to be out of tune. To some degree. Then who knows what degree that is.
It's a big part of it.
It is a big part of it, but I swear he figured out the chord. It's very cool. So I'll get on here and play it one of these days. I was very impressed that he was able to pull that off. Now, big news in the Dabbleverse, of course. Yesterday, I was on This Little Piggy, and Super Chatter started telling us that Stuttering John got Chad's gig canceled last night. Chad was opening or featuring or something at some comedy show in Cape Coral, and he decided to take the time to drive over to John's house, something that Joey C did recently. People are having a lot of fun visiting Stuttering John's home and live streaming it for some reason.
This is like Del Boca Vista.
What's that?
They're like Del Boca Vista from Seinfeld, the retirement community where they're all fucking going at each other and threatening each other, and these are guys that are well into their 50s at least, trying to fight each other, trying to cancel gigs. The police get involved.
Yeah,
it's fucking embarrassing. Why would you put videos up?
There's no comedy happening here.
No, it's
In fact,
embarrassing.
comedy's been canceled over this. It's so stupid what these guys are doing.
Unbelievable.
So this is Mentor Math put this together. Chad did like 4 live streams yesterday documenting all of this. I have a few clips that we'll play and we'll break this down. I tasked Andy with doing some research on this too because so much is going on with this. But this is Chad on his way over to John's house.
On my locals. When I get to John's house, I'm going to John's house first, then I'm going to Stevie to the Crunch Gym, and then I'm going to Stevie Tomatoes. That's the plan as of right this second.
I just want to point out props to Cardiff Electric because Chad doesn't want anyone to know what he's driving here. And so he picked that angle, but you can figure it out from the rear view mirror that you can see the back of that is a 2012 Honda Accord LX. Which is awesome because that would make it a 14-year-old car.
Oh, wow. I wonder if you could put that in like Grok and ask it what car this is and if it would spit the right answer out.
Oh, yeah. We should check
Based
that.
on the headrest.
It's pretty amazing
the
these
backseat.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay.
Oh, look,
All right. So this is him getting to John's house.
I swear to God, look. I'm not joking, dude. Look, this is his house. This is totally his house. Look. In his front yard. What a scumbag. Should I go knock on the...
There was literally an empty 12-pack of Michelob Ultra just laying in his lawn. You can't make this shit up.
door, honestly? What would you guys do? I came a long way. I'd be upset if I didn't knock on the door, right? Nah, John was too much of a beast to knock on Melton's door. All right. Here we go. But I'm
doxing John.
Yeah, I should point out what the longer form of this, because I was watching Bedappler today and they were showing a lot of this, is first Chad goes to the wrong house. He doesn't know where he is. And he parked far away from the house and he's walking around. And then he walks up to the door and walks away. And then he walks back up again. It's really chicken shit stuff that we're witnessing from these adults. And remember, these two guys, not that long ago, both Chad and Stuttering John, were going to fight each other. It was, we're going to fight. Next time I see him, I'm going to drive to his house and fight him. And John was all ready to fight him, and Chad wasn't backing down, and things have changed, apparently.
coming back out to the street.
What were you going to say, Andy?
Oh, just now it's deteriorating into calling each other's moms and dads.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that call to Mr. Agar was one of the greatest things.
Oh my God. What Julie did with that when they remixed it.
It's fantastic.
It's hilarious.
Why are you telling me this?
Because he could shoot me. Oh, look, there's beer right there.
Oh, that's the other thing, too. Chad keeps saying, I don't know if I can go on his property because he could shoot me, which is not how the stand your ground law works. He can't just shoot anyone. That's why
Shoot anyone. Yeah, that's on your property. They have
if someone comes up and knocks on the door unarmed, you can't just
to pose some type of threat or enter the house. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Ringing the doorbell is a sign that maybe they're just a visitor.
Just a pile of dead mailmen.
Yeah. It just
They're
shows
on your
how
property.
Yeah, how childish
Yeah,
Chad's train of
yes.
thought is. It's like old man Melendez is gonna sick his dog on me.
Yeah.
He was like, what are you talking about?
He stands on the curb. He'll stand on the curb and yell at John, I'm on government's property. Government property. You can't do anything.
I'm picturing the principal from Back to the Future 2 in the Biff is a millionaire. Where it's just anarchy.
Timeline, yeah.
He's just out there with a shotgun shooting at people. It's like, no, I know people think that's what Florida is. I promise you it's not.
Go, but I'm coming back out to the street because he could shoot me. Oh, look, there's beer right there. Beer. Toilet paper out front.
Look at him run away.
I just knocked.
What was the game? Knock Knock Runaway?
Yeah. I named the clip that.
Nice.
Knock Knock Runaway. Ding
I
dong
knocked.
kid.
Yeah.
Ring and run.
My heart is pounding. So's mine. I'm not gonna lie. Go get that toilet paper and TP his house. That's not bad, Dick Fitzwell. I can't commit a crime here. And again, he has to throw the first punch. John has to throw the first punch. I'll gladly return the favor. Oh, he looked out the window. He totally looked out the window. What a shit.
This is exactly what John did when he went to Melton's house, and he's like, and he looked out the window at me, and he was scared. Melton wasn't home. John's not home. John doesn't park in his garage, he doesn't park in his garage. His car's always in the driveway. There's speculation that his garage is a disaster.
He's not home.
Shit.
Yeah, absolutely. No way John has a garage you could pull a fucking car into. There's more garbage and shit and in that garage. Absolutely, he's not there.
He's not home because he had a gig in St. Petersburg last night. So John actually had a comedy show last night. I hear that Shuli has it. So tune in to the Uncle Rico show. I think they will be playing John's stand-up, so I'm interested to see if he's got any updated jokes in his set.
I'll be on Shuli's show tomorrow.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, we'll be tuned in for
Looking
that.
forward.
Yes.
He knows I'm here. Hold on, I'm gonna go to my car and get a sign real quick, and I'm coming back. That's what I'm put on his door.
Okay, so this is pretty comical.
Yeah.
The sign says, "Pussy boy who's had a son with a pussy. Pussy boy who has a son with a pussy."
Oh God.
You will always be a
Lisa
bitch.
boy who has a
Z-Man
son
sticker.
with a you'll always be my shit, Z-Man. That's the blind that I saw.
This is harassment, by the way. This is like,
Yes.
That's why Riley got arrested.
That's true. And this is
yeah,
also
this is a threat. It could
It's a
be
hate
deemed transphobic.
right. I think it's a hate crime when you start talking about how
And then you leave a paper there. It's not even like you're just saying it in the street. You're leaving evidence of your harassment and threat and hate crime on the door with your logo on it.
Did you post this picture? I have a lot of fans in this area, sir. That could have been anyone. That's my sticker.
Videotaping our
Z-Man.
crime spree was the best idea ever.
I talk about it on the Creep Off all the time. Every criminal now films themselves in the act.
Yeah.
They can't help themselves. They're so stupid.
Yeah, this is a crime.
All right, guys. If he's home, he's not coming out, and if he's driving like he says he is, then it is what it is. He probably called the police. All right, I'm gonna go to Stevie Tomatoes now to see if he's banned from there and his gym. I got a phone call from Cape.
Okay, so we'll pick up on that in just a moment.
I'd love to see John in his car come ripping down the road and just smash right into him. Just flying over the hood.
That'd be the greatest video of all time.
It would be fantastic.
All right, so this is Chad's tweet that he put out. He says, "I just got a call from the Cape Coral Police Department. Stuttering John is getting me charged for trespassing. He also got my gig canceled at Cape Coral Cabaret tonight because he contacted the club." And someone says, I doubt it. And he goes, no, it's all real. Now, here's the caveat I have for all of this. Everyone involved is a known liar.
Yeah.
So I know that he went to John's house. I know that he put that letter on his door. I saw that with my own eyes. That happened. I don't know if the police department was called. I don't know if he got his gig canceled. Who knows about any of this stuff? You can't take Chad at his word, obviously. I assume it's true. And we'll get to Chad talking about the call that he got from the police. I have that clip right here.
I'm outside Stevie Tomatoes now. And they
Stalin 19 put this together for us. Thank you, Stalin.
Said they never heard of Stuttering John, so I don't know if that's a lie.
I actually went to Stevie Tomatoes and I asked the bartender about Stuttering John. He's like, oh, yeah, Jack comes in here. So maybe it was just a different crew that day when he went there.
Anyways, I got a phone call from Cape Coral Police Department, from the sergeant. The sergeant contacted me, and I didn't believe it was like Cape Coral Police Department. And then I get a phone call from the booker of Cape Cabaret. And I answer it, and RC's like, dude, he's like, I just got a phone call from Cape Coral Police Department coming to issue a trespassing warning notice. What the f going on with Stuttering John? And he.
So why would the cops call the comedy club?
Yeah.
And how did the cops get his phone number? Did John give him Chad's number? Did the cops call people and tell them that they're being bad? Is that a thing?
No, they don't. They barely even would pay attention to this. They would have to if John said, hey, someone came to my house. They'd fill out a report, leave.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go to the extent where they're doing an investigation, calling a comedy club. And
right.
It's bullshit. Chad is a known liar. So
it doesn't make any sense.
They don't give warning phone calls.
They always call the trap house and say, you guys better knock it off. Or it's going to get serious.
Is all this over the love of Kate Meany, by the way?
Oh, yeah. I think
that's
where the jealousy
two
began.
knights battling for the damsel's affections.
Anthony, do you remember back when Kate was playing both of these guys, these long phone calls they were having, and they would argue about who talked to her longer on the phone?
Holy shit.
I remember Chad going, I talked to her for 6 hours straight last night. John doesn't talk to her for that long. Oh, no.
Children. Fucking children.
Talking to a girl on the phone? That sounds awful. Why
Yeah.
are you doing that? Right? What are you doing?
On the phone anywhere. 6 hours.
He contacted the
What's wrong with
club,
you?
and the owner's like, he doesn't need this. He doesn't want it. I don't know what's going on, but I got to kick you off the show. John's in fear of his life. Stuttering John says he was in fear of his life.
That I kind of believe. I could see John calling the police and being all worked up about this because we've seen it happen before.
Sure.
At his age, yeah, one punch could kill him.
Yes.
Stuttering John could fall down, crack his skull. One punch could send his fragile little osteoporosis bones right into his brain. These are old guys you're talking about.
And Chad is a known, I was going to say felon. I don't know if he's been convicted of a
I
felony.
don't know what
or
it
not.
was whittled down to. But,
yeah, it's like there were definitely felonies involved, but he's a known criminal. So I'm sure John's using that when he's calling them. Oh, this known criminal's got a huge record.
Yeah.
So he contacted the club and had the police contact the club. He's in fear of his life. Cape Coral Police Department said if I go back to his house, I will be thrown in jail and arrested.
Thrown in jail and arrested. What you got to get to that jail. Am I under arrest? No. But so this is the part where some of this makes sense because you're not trespassing for going on John's property.
Right.
Everyone's allowed to walk up to a door, But if somebody says, I don't want this person on my property, then if you come back, you're trespassing. So there could have been a conversation of, hey, we got a call. John says you're harassing him. Don't go back to his house or, we will have to trespass you at that stage.
I bet he took the note off the door before he left.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
bet he didn't leave it. He made it look like he left it there. I bet he tore it off and left because you're not hearing anything about how the note fits into the crime here.
That's a great point. Because yes, as we were talking about like a hate crime kind of thing.
Yeah.
Transphobia would be probably brought up here. Oh, okay.
Good theory.
Or it's Florida. They're just like, that's pretty funny note, but dude, you can't.
I'm not going to, obviously. But they kicked me off the show tonight because John being a pussy, a legit pussy after threatening me non-stop, getting my Patreon removed. And I went to his house and knocked on his door, and they're going to charge me with trespassing. And he's in fear for his life. Okay. John, you're the pussy. John, you're the pussy. Pussy. You're a pussy. All those threats coming in.
He's got away with words, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So articulate.
Apparently,
We're
John's a pussy.
To see me anytime, anywhere. Name the place, name the time. Look now you call the police. You call the police on me. Charge me with trespassing and your fear for your life. You're the pussy. You'll always be a pussy. Now I'm out $500 because of you stuttering prick. And I have David Chandler, Little Lemmy, Granny, all of them coming to the show tonight. They bought tickets.
He had 3 people going to his show.
All those people.
Aw, 3 people wanted to see you do comedy. That's too bad. I said this when I found out about it when I was on This Little Piggy yesterday. I'll say it again. Typically, comedy clubs don't cancel shows that are well sold.
Yeah.
I bring up this example all the time. I was talking to Vinny about it last night at the comedy club, but Dave Smith did a show at Comedy at the Carlson maybe 2 years ago now. And Antifa protested outside because they call the Jewish guy an anti-Semite for some reason. But so they were protesting, and there's like 40 people out there protesting, and news trucks showed up, and it was on the news and stuff like that. And Dave Smith did all 5 shows that weekend because it was sold out. They're not going to cancel the guy's shows.
Yeah, comedy club owners aren't known to be the most ethical, moral people when it comes to their standards. It's all about asses in seats. That's paramount.
Well, it's not. The gig did not get canceled. The gig was Chad middling for Tito Ortiz.
Right.
Because there's pictures of people at the gig, the Little Lemmy with Tito, and Chad went to the show that he got kicked. He didn't perform.
Oh, I thought
he just went as an audience member and was hanging out at the show that they asked him not to go to.
Oh, I thought that they went to Tito Ortiz's place, like his bar and restaurant.
Oh, I thought that was.
I don't think he was. I think he was the middler for the guy who did that charity event that John was kicked off of. I think so. I don't
just
know.
saw a bunch of pictures on Twitter.
Yes, I saw
everybody
those,
with Tito.
I saw those pictures too.
Okay.
It looks like Chad's standing on his tippy toes again.
Yeah.
It's not like Chappelle's show got canceled and he's one of the guys on a bill with someone else that the people came to see.
Right. Yeah. So I can understand the comedy club going like, no one's here to see him anyway.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a headache, then fine. We'll just kick him off the show. But
and then he shows up anyway.
But canceling shows is a very dangerous precedent. When John talks about it all the time, he's just like, yeah, someone threatened violence against women, so they canceled my shows. Like, comedy club owners would not do that. That's a very bad idea. I remember when I was in high school, bomb threats were a big thing.
Yeah.
So a kid calls in a bomb threat, and we're all off of school that entire day. Bad move.
That kid's a hero.
Yeah, because now everyone's calling in bomb threats, and they got it down to a science where they can just like bring us into the gymnasium, bring the dogs in, and right back to class. Like they've made adjustments. You remember that, right, Andy?
Oh yeah, no, there would never be any school otherwise.
Right? Yeah. So if you could just shut down comedy shows with an email, it's a crazy way to go through life as a comedy club owner. So this is John's tweet. He knew I wasn't home. I was booked in St. Petersburg. Here's proof. He's driving in his car. Everything this guy says is a lie. I believe that. I believe that Chad knew John wasn't going to be home.
Wow, a truthful Melendez post.
He did seem kind of scared. But isn't this funny? This is exactly what John has done to Kevin Brennan. He went to my house when he knew I wasn't home, my house in Cape Coral. He went to Patrick Melton's house when he knew that Patrick wasn't home because Patrick communicated to him, I'm not going to be home if you come after 4 o'clock. I got to go.
Yeah.
And so Chad just did the exact same thing to John, and John's reaction is calling the police. Fucking boomers, man.
Yeah.
They're so ridiculous. Andy, what else did you pull? Anything from this?
I mean, that was very comprehensive.
Okay.
I found a couple of other things. The clip 18 is Chad pre-gaming with Joey C.
Okay.
This is our own. We have our own DabbleCon going on right now. Our own Hackamania. This is our own Kill Kevin.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is after the gig was canceled, or is this before?
I think he knows it's canceled at this
Right,
point. He's
so-
just like, well, else am I going to do? I guess I'll
Right.
hang
So
out
that's
with Joey C.
So that's Granny next to him, who was coming to the show along with
Yeah.
Little Lemmy, and then Joey C and Mrs. C. I think were coming too.
Oh wait, there's none.
They're all sold out. We're here.
We're here. Thank you, Jeff. Celebrity Tom Myers is here, everybody.
Can we get a hug?
Celebrity Tom
Myers.
That's why that's
All right.
interesting.
I love that Tom Myers is trying so hard to get into the Dabbleverse and get on with Kevin Brennan and be buds.
And the only other thing I included was out of all this footage that is very compelling of these two losers just going at each other so hard.
Yeah.
Ray DeVito's soft take on this event
Oh, boy.
is just mind-boggling. It's like, this was your takeaway, Ray?
Oh boy.
mustache hair right there, whatever. But that is cool to have like that little like chin strap thing. It is. Pussy, you're a pussy. All right, I do got to give Chad this. I do like how he trimmed his beard.
Jesus.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Come on.
Having the way he's got it like shaved like that, he's definitely making money because that costs like $15, $20 to get it done. Like, you gotta go to the barber shop and get that done. So, all right, it does look weird. He can't grow any mustache hair right there, whatever. But that is cool to have like that little like chin strap thing. It is weird. He's got like just one half of a mustache, like one half. The other half is like not there. That's kind of like Hitler had like just that middle stash thing. Chad's like, I just want half a mustache. Just give me half of it. It's a new look. It's kind of like what a rapper would do. Just give me half a stash, please. Can we do that?
Good stuff, Ray.
Ray would watch Evel Knievel jump over 20 buses and be like, dude, that outfit, how it matches like that with the helmet and everything.
It's the old Larry King bit. What happened to the groceries?
Right, yes. How important is the board?
How important is the board? Yeah. That's it. Oh, God.
I have a treat for us. John has a new cameo out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So
the subdued John? Is this subdued TikTok John or
no
crazy cameo John? There's a couple of different Johns these days.
Correct. Now, TikTok has been privated. I checked his TikTok today. He's already
it's
privated
done
that.
Sunday anyway.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter. Although, what do you think about that? I think Trump's going to save TikTok.
Yeah, I don't see it going away. I think it'll keep going. And good, because I like subdued TikTok John. Hello, this is Stuttering John Melendez. You might know me not you might. Of course you know me from Jay Leno. And then there's the crazy cameo one. They talk about me all the time, the Dabbleverse. I love it. I love the juxtaposition.
This is crazy, John.
Sweaty post-workout.
Always post-workout, and always horny. This is a fucking horny.
Who's he shagging now, as he so eloquently puts it?
Anna, this is the world famous Stuttering John, just getting out of the gym. And, well, your husband, Nick, one of what I say, Philly's finest, if you will. I love my police force. See, I have this on my car here. It's the, I don't know if you can see it. That's the fraternity of police.
I also have them on speed dial.
Yeah. Along with the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA.
Ever since these assholes decided to cancel the police charity event that I was doing.
No, the event wasn't canceled. The event went fine.
Swimmingly. I'm sure they made more money.
Yes. No complaints, actually.
Well, the cops are on the case, put it that way. And some of these assholes are going to fall.
Again, John, you say this every time. He's always going to thwart his enemies, and it never, ever happens.
Never happens.
The police are on the case.
It's fucking Lucy holding the football for Charlie Brown every single time, this guy.
Oh, it's a fucking idiot. It's like us Bills fans. We're gonna win. We're gonna win tomorrow, guys.
It's our year. It's our year. Yeah.
But I will tell you that I became very friendly with the police out here in Cape Coral. So I have utter respect for your husband. Now back to you. I hear you just turned 50. The big 5-0. In 3 years, I'm going to hit 50. I don't know what's going to happen after that.
Good stuff.
Oh, that's good because it's
stuff.
like,
Yeah.
he's saying he's younger.
He's saying he's 47. Yeah.
Good
it's
stuff.
pretty funny.
But let me sing you a little birthday ditty.
Oh, fuck.
Happy birthday to you.
No.
Happy birthday to you.
This isn't smell-o-vision.
So sweaty.
That eyebrow is doing its own thing.
Yeah, he's got like a Spock thing going and then a little more on the sides.
Andy proclaimed that he was turning into a monster 5 years ago. And it is complete.
Brundle John.
Happy birthday, dear Adriana. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, I saw someone asking if he's still getting residuals from Weird Science.
Anyway, congrats on being 20 years clean off of heroin. And I hear you're as gorgeous as ever. I wish.
Holy shit.
Anyway.
A 50-year-old ex-heroin addict. Gorgeous as ever.
You know these people are fucking with him, but he rolls with it.
Of
Your
course.
hubby included a picture. Anyway, you have 3 daughters, 15, 24, and 30. 2 grandkids. Wow. And you're still a fucking smoke show, and I love it. I love me a nice ass. She got a finer ways. I like the nice ass.
This is racist.
Anyway,
what's that?
That was kind of racist. Doing a Louis Armstrong thing, or what was he doing there?
George Jefferson.
Yeah, George Jefferson kind of a thing. Yeah, appropriation.
He's so fucking horny.
Yeah.
This 50-year-old grandma, ex-heroin addict, and he's just like, hey, if you ever need someone to cuddle with.
I'd love to catch the hip from you.
24 and
I just like that he's reading the descriptors of what to include in the video. Like,
Right.
It's just like checking off the laundry list of things to include. And Webster's defines heroin as he just is reading.
He's got signs on his windshield like Matarese. All the things he's got to hit.
Yeah, that's not the point of that. When you put in the stuff, you're supposed to work that into your message, not just read it.
30. 2 grandkids. Wow. And you're still a fucking smoke show, and I love it. I love me a nice ass. She got a finer ways. I like the nice ass. Anyway, hope you have a great birthday, and I hope the next time I'm performing in the Philly area, you come down and see me. And if you do, you and your hubby got VIP tickets.
He always promises VIP tickets to a thing that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You're not on tour, John. You're not going to Philly. Who are you kidding with this?
What does the VIP experience include?
You get to buy him a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
If
can
I
both
ever-
buy me a beer.
If I ever perform on the Oasis of the Seas, you'll get dinner with the captain.
Right.
Which means backstage and hanging out with Stuttering John.
There it is.
Until then, have a great day.
You ever been to some of these green rooms? I mean, we have, obviously, at comedy clubs. They're made for 2 people. It's a comedy club. There's not a lot of people doing that. He's going to have all of these cameo VIPs back there with him.
So uncomfortable. Even if you know the comic, like back in the days of Caroline's and some of these other clubs, the club owner would be like, oh, yeah, Patrice or someone, DePaulo is in the back. You want to go see him? And it's like, I don't want to stand there before their gig. It's so close, and you're literally standing right next to them. You know they got to go up on stage in a few minutes. Like, no, I don't want to be back there.
Yeah, the last thing they want to do is get into a conversation. They're probably
fuck that.
thinking
They're
through their
thinking.
sets, and a lot of comics try to come up with like things that are localized to start off with.
Right. I want to
embrace
be back there, right in their face.
You enjoyed this cameo.
I hope you enjoyed
Stuttering
this.
John saying, good yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this cameo.
That's John's get her done, man. I love it.
That's true. He does love Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where
That's
where
his
he got
speed. That's for sure.
All right. And do you want to catch an alien with us?
Yes, of course.
We got a quick game. Cardiff came through with another to catch an alien, which is my favorite game.
Love it.
Yes, let's do this.
It's time for everyone's favorite new game show, To Catch an Alien. What do you say, Carl? Are you ready to catch an alien?
I am.
Brought to you by Hackmania.com. Promo code CUM. That's right, Hackmania.com. Promo code CUM. C-U-M. CUM. C-U-M. CUM. C-U-M.
And Florida was prescribing 10 times more than the entire country combined opiates. So you take all the other states and combine all the prescriptions for opiates, Florida alone was 10 times more than the rest of the country combined. Look right here, Darren. Doctors in Florida prescribe 10 times more oxycodone pills than every other state in the country combined. People come from all over Southeast, blah, 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 blah. But Pfizer, or whichever one it was in this case, they come out and they go for 5-10 years and they say it's not addictive. And they tell the doctors, just give a higher dose. It's not addictive. Here's the case studies.
Yep.
But their own people are doing the case studies. Then what happens, Darren? Pfizer goes into court.
Yep.
They just killed and had however many people addicted.
Yep.
You have your specialist, boom, boom. They fine them $100 billion. What do they care about $100 billion?
Exactly.
And they walk away and they make the arthritis one. And then that kills people.
Yep.
So, you know, for you, and you're trying to go around and speak to people and tell your story, and then you got Big Pharma.
Yep.
That's a battle.
Exactly.
You got in a sense, the government's kind of your battle. Is weed legal or is it not?
Yep.
Maybe you should start looking if they're putting fentanyl.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, the weed thing. I've always been a part of it. It was never my thing. This is a better option.
And I'm not trying to be a promoter, but at least it's from a plant.
Exactly.
Right? It's not some man-made, who knows, cartel, whatever, you know, it may be.
Yep.
And when I saw that, I mean, Trump put in those, well, he made a hell of a business move, too. He put in the card readers.
Yeah.
Do you know about that move?
Yeah.
So what a fucking move,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So he did put in the database, but he made every pharmacy buy the exact same ID reader.
Oh.
So throughout the country, hey, you can't hate on him.
Yep.
You can't hate on him. He
Yep.
cleaned it up, put the data
Yep.
in, and he made a
Yep.
hell of a deal with the
Yep.
biggest bidder.
Yep.
Now it's a businessman, right?
Yep.
What did Tommy say next? Here are your choices. Number 1, like eating cake and having it too. B, now do that with elections. Next, nail 2 birds with 1 stone. 4, 2 problems, 2 solutions. And lastly, make pharmacies great again to catch an alien.
All right, I always go first. I know that my boy Tommy loves to talk about conspiracies, especially in politics. So I think it's going to be B. Now do that with elections. I think he's going to, for some reason, even though it has nothing to do with the pharmaceutical industry, tie that into election tampering. What do you think, Trucker Andy?
I know Tommy likes to fuck up common turns of phrase, so I'm
That's
going to
true.
go with next. Nail 2 birds
Nail 2
with 1
birds.
stone.
All right. Anthony, what do you think?
Boy, yeah, 1 and next seem more Stuttering John-ish with the getting the sayings wrong, which he does so well. And the conspiracy thing does make sense. Now do that with elections. But I'm going to go with, lastly, make pharmacies great again.
Yep.
The Trump tie-in.
He does love Trump, yes. What do
Yeah.
you think, producer Chris?
I also went next.
All right. So I'm alone on this one. All right, here we go.
So he did put in the database, but he made every pharmacy buy the exact same ID reader.
Oh.
So throughout the country, hey, you can't hate on him.
Yep.
You can't hate on him. He
Yep.
cleaned it up, put the data
Yep.
in, and he made a
Yep.
hell of a deal with the
Yep.
biggest bidder.
Yep.
Now it's a businessman, right?
Yep.
You
Yep.
nailed 2 birds with 1 stone. I know people
Oh.
may not like that, but
Well done, boys.
what else was he had to do it? And he's a businessman. So what the hell do you expect?
That's it.
You know?
Yep.
So I know you got to get going. What do you have up? What do you got to run to now this time?
We're
going to
going
Jamaica?
dinner, and then I got to fly back there.
That's all for this time. Come back next time to find out if you have the backing of Big Pharma enough to catch an alien. Brought to you by hackmania.com. Promo code COME. Come. Sit, Eugene, sit. Good dog.
Excellent.
Wow.
So Andy got it and you got it.
You know it.
Congratulations. Christian Black got it as well. And Nan Cram in the chat. So
Wow.
congrats, people. You're better at catching an alien than I am. And Anthony, I want to thank you so much for spending so much time with us today.
Gentlemen,
been
thank you so much for having me. After seeing the Opie video, because I was saying last night, I go, I'm so like, I don't like giving Opie attention because it just gives him hits.
Right.
You know, let him do this on his own. If he's gonna get hits off of me, he should be thanking me, not shitting on me. So I'm like, but I got to do this on my show Monday. I got to talk about this video and the fireman memorial and all that. And then Missy goes, "You doing WATP tomorrow? What? What? Why? You could just do it there."
Missy, yes, thank you.
I'm like,
Great advice.
There it is. Great advice. Thanks so much. Of course, Andy and producer Chris and Carl. Great.
Right.
And I'll see you next time.
And Anthony, people should watch your show on Monday, and they can find that on censor.tv compound.
That's
Censor.
right. The
Get
new place for us, censor.tv. Compound Media is still there, compoundmedia.com, the apps, censored and compound apps. And Monday through Thursday, 4:30 to 6 Eastern time.
And you're still doing the show with Gavin on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, me and Gavin. I'll be doing Jimmy's show next week in New York. And then
that's awesome.
Monday, the 27th, Legion of Skanks live from the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. So a lot going on. And tomorrow, Shuli's show.
Look at you. How do you have so much energy?
I do things. I like to do things. There's so much to do. Things.
You're the best, Anthony. Thanks for being
Thank
here,
you,
buddy.
guys. Take it easy, man.
See ya.
King.
Yes. Great to have Anthony on the show. It's been a minute, so we appreciate that. Guys, what have we done? We've done it all. You know what that means? It's time for everyone's favorite part of the show.
The teaser. Next week's teaser.
The teaser. It's the part of the show we tease the podcast that we'll be reviewing on the next episode, although I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to tease is we have a special time and a special guest. This Wednesday, the show will be live. For those of you who sign up for our Patreon and YouTube and Supercast, we'll be live at 1 p.m. Eastern with the great Dave Landau.
Oh.
Dave Landau, long overdue.
Yeah.
Yes. This is going back many years when Dave was scheduled to do our show. And so he's going to be coming on. We're really looking forward to that. Of course, that's Ant's former, I was actually going to mention that today, Anthony, but his former partner on the Anthony Cumia show. Big fan of Dave. And so it's going to be a lot of fun chatting with him. Not sure what we'll be chatting about just yet, but we got time.
Yeah.
Got time to figure that out. And Andy, I want to thank you for coming here. You are coming here from the All Apologies podcast.
Yeah, I was very thrilled to hear Anthony kind of do a bit of dice right at the end there, because our latest episode we did with Blind Mike Geary and Nice Doug, and we covered Andrew Dice Clay getting banned from MTV, and on our Patreon we tore apart Brain Smasher, a love story, one of the worst movies of all time. That was Dice's follow-up to Ford Fairlane, which we also covered on the free episode with the banning. So very well received. So please find us there, youtube.com/All Apologies Podcast. Putting all of our back catalog stuff that used to be paywall out for free on that channel as well. So
nice.
I would love it if people would subscribe there. And,
You're getting all the great guests on that show.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks to somebody.
Love Blind Mike. Mike's
He was great.
Mike's always good.
And Doug was great too, Carl.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Getting all the great guests on there. It's awesome. And yeah. I was going to say, producer Chris, what are you promoting? But I guess
Hackamania.
Yes, hackamania.com. WATP for 10% off your tickets. Make a trip of it. Make a vacation of it. Come in early. We're going to be on there on Thursday. We'll be hanging out on Sunday, shooting off machine guns, blowing up cars.
Yeah.
Flamethrowers.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So you can ride a dinosaur. This place is amazing. The place we're going to. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And also, please join us again next time. It might be the episode where we find out once and for all, who are these podcasts? Sleep well, every pony.
Farting in the mosh pits of morning radio.
Okay. Great show. Good job, everybody.
Great job, everyone.
Internet news. News from the internet.
From Facebook, anonymous member treats us to a thorough recap of a Stuttering John cameo. Happy anniversary.
I got laid a few days ago. I have a boat and a house and a bike and a car. Dabbleverse are losers. I have a big cock. I get laid all the time since I left the Dabbleverse. Happy anniversary.
Travis Wilson notes he's completely out of breath just from talking. That's probably fine. Rick Lancourt, the guy can't resist talking about himself, trying to convince himself and others that he's still a winner. Mind-blowing. Rob Haig recalls, I thought he had a jalapeno. Karen Mack reminds us, when you have to brag about getting laid, then you are not getting laid. From Patreon, Sleepner writes, awesome to see Tab back, although he may have needed a few bologna sandwiches and or thinkin' beers to fire himself up properly. Dude felt a little low NG. Cream Cheeses Christ shares, love Tab, though curious as to why he chose to broadcast from the inside of a Pringles can. Deluxe opines, the Opie and Aaron Imholt show would be Dabbleverse fire. We Too Low. The many lies and copes of Aaron Imholt are fascinating content. Mike's last name points out, either Howard's action on his guitar is garbage or his old man hands are too weak to even hold the strings down with all that buzz he has. It's a sad day when Stern is actually ripping off Stuttering John content. From Reddit, Lou Cumia riffs, awesome job having Tab Bird on the episode. I'm sure both of his fans appreciated it. Creedler comments, I like that Carl doesn't say pitcher anymore, but I wish he would tell us what a drug addict is. Is it for storing drugs? Yes. Or a cool place to do drugs? Shockingly efficient adds, this goofy fuck created this universe and has given me hundreds of hours of entertainment, and he successfully bridges the gap between puppets and radio legends? Hail Hamburger. Accomplished ad confesses, fucker owns a piece of my brain. Zookeeper Game Fun just made Carl's list for misusing a certain word. Carl is literally polishing turds and turning them into diamonds. Dexter D reports, he looks like he likes to gnaw on both. An executive killer plays us out with, congrats to Carl for keeping up his busy podcasting schedule, all while foraging and stockpiling acorns to hold him through the winter.
Hey. I don't like the sound of that, but thank you very much for producer Chris and Lucy Typebox compiling the internet news.
Yeah.
News from the internet. And we have some voicemails to get to. I know we're running late. We're running long today. There's football games on. I get it.
I got nowhere to be.
Specific football game that is on. So let's hit some voicemails and get out of here.
Oh, Texans just tied it up.
What's the score?
3-3.
Okay. I have the Chiefs -6 in the first half and over 41.5 for the game. Let's go.
For newer people to the Dabbleverse, terms. That's the fact jack. Means opinion. Most likely wild speculation. Gay ops means someone's doing a bit that's true about Aaron and hurting his feelings. The toe.
Very good. Yes. I think those are both accurate.
Although I had to track down this number, I was introduced to your show only due to a few of my family members that are extremely upset with you. Recently, we learned that somebody has made a comparison to one of our family members in a very negative light on your show. We are extremely offended by this. Our family member, he has contributed to the arts in many, many forms and fashions over the years, and we are very disappointed in how you've treated him. I will expect a full apology, and I'll be waiting. By the way, my name is Peter. Peter Warhol.
The Andy Warhol comparison still making waves, apparently.
Hey, Carl. I am catching up on your shows right now, listening to, what's his face, the fucking cuckold talk about boxing 5 dudes and sucking them all off afterwards.
Right.
And I just want to say, like, y'all are right on nail on the head, you know, like, this is not a realistic proposition for anybody, let alone this retard to have, you know. Fuck, 45 seconds. Bye. I'm kidding. Like, this is stupid. Like, I compete in jiu-jitsu. I've dabbled in mixed martial arts and striking and Muay Thai and all that stuff. Like, I've done that shit. He's retarded. Like, amateurs, I'm an amateur. I do not get paid for what I did. We gas out. We do not have the cardio or the like mental fortitude to like weather that storm 5 times, let alone 1 time continuously. He's talking about 3-minute rounds. Like, you're spending 45 minutes in the ring.
That goes out of that. But yes, that is a very good point. I brought this up on this little piggy yesterday, and it's a common theme on this show that rich guys don't tell you that they're rich, great broadcasters don't tell you they're great broadcasters, and tough guys don't tell you that they're tough. You know, the fact that he has to repeat over and over again how great he is at broadcasting, how tough he is, and how he can beat all of us up. Same with Stuttering John talking about having all the sex and getting all the lades.
Yeah.
It's just obviously not happening.
It exposes you as not knowing what the fuck you're talking about. The very idea that you would think that you could pull that off means that you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. It's a lot like Scorch.
Yeah.
Talking about sex and finding all the dive bars in the country. You don't know what that entails by what you're saying.
Was that sex talk from Scorch wild? Yeah. How do you know when to go in for the kill? Whoa. Wow.
I'm sorry. You brought it up to a crowd.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
That's what boggles the mind.
How old are you? Too old to French kiss?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Carl, this is for WATP. Has anybody noticed that Opie is literally Laszlo from Grand Theft Auto 4? Like, in Grand Theft Auto 4, Laszlo is a washed-up celebrity who's walking around on the actual streets of Liberty City and embarrassing the fuck out of himself with regular-ass people. And Opie is now doing this 20 years after that game came out. Like, it is a one-to-one comparison between Laszlo and fucking Greg Opie Hughes. He's a walking anachronism trying to find why he was ever in touch with an audience to begin with. It's sad, but it's also hilarious. But it's also been done before, you know?
Yeah, people in the Discord and on YouTube are agreeing with that.
I am fully aware of the Grand Theft Auto lore and
Laszlo
the character
Jones.
because they had these built-in radio channels in the game. So
Yeah.
as you're driving around, you can flip through the channels, and one of the funnier ones is the Laszlo Shock Jock. And as the series goes on, it's just hilarious that it's actually a DJ turned laughing stock. It's a complete
and those guys,
one-to-one.
Those guys have voiced for GTA, so they might be based on Opie.
Yeah, no, that's
very possible.
That's fantastic.
They know.
Yo, I just want to make a literal point here. Like, come on, man. Like, you covered Cyrax. He is funny. He is really funny to cover. But WATP is a roast show. They make fun of idiots who can be self-aware, like Stuttering John, Patty C. Cups, whatever. Cyrex, Christian, they're literally retarded. Like, it is funny, but like, I don't think it fits the show. It was a good segment, thank you, but bye.
We didn't dwell on it very long.
That
but
dude
thank
is
you.
scary.
Yeah, Cyrax,
Oh,
yeah.
God, hard to look at. Like, hills have eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gross.
The video that I didn't play on WATS this week, but I talked about, was him having diarrhea in his pants.
Yeah, so I went and
You watched
subscribed
that?
to Brendan's channel.
Yeah.
And that was
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
thing on there, and I did not watch it.
What a monster he is.
Yeah,
Ugh.
you talk about somebody turning into a monster. Those scabies, it's just...
His teeth.
ugh.
Ugh.
God.
That's me saying that.
Hey, Carol. Last episode you were talking about, can you imagine if John actually brought a girl home from the bar?
Right.
What kind of caliber? Ugh. My friend Sarah lives down in Cape Coral, and sadly it was her. And the caliber was a 45. She's like, well, there's no getting over this. Get in Greenland, Sarah. Get in Greenland. All right, see you.
I see what you did there. Even the co-host of Scorch's show, Megan, would not She's too good for John. And she's shaped like Play-Doh.
Go Bills. Carl, I've got news of this fabulous event that's coming up in May. It's called Hackamania 2. And there's even promo codes you can use at the website hackamania.com, such as the one Coronal Ridge, which, and this one I'd like to stress, does work for men and women. A lot of my previous codes have been a bit male-centric. When you put that code in, you will receive an immediate and powerful sense of post-nut clarity the moment you've checked out. Please be advised, all purchases are strictly non-refundable. So whilst you sit there at your computer, thinking on what you've just done, why not go to thecreepoff.com and vote for Carl?
Please do. We don't have a poll up right now because we took the week off last week, but we'll be back live this Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern.
This message is for Carl. You don't even know what you said. You said on Till 727 that Milo wants to do stuff with Dick. You don't even know what you said. Okay, this is Skipper. Bye.
Skipperson. Which is what I'm going to do with his voicemail next time, but thank you for calling in. Gary in San Diego.
Hey, Carl and Chris, just a quickie. What money-making scheme will John come up with after he runs out of suckers who buy his wretched cameos? I'm trying to think what he might come up with. Do you guys have any ideas? Because that's going to run dry real quick, I think.
School bus driver?
Those cameos are going to run dry. Rock and rolla.
All right, Gary. Yes, I agree. It's not employable.
DoorDash.
See, I don't think anything was driving, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he shouldn't be driving.
He shouldn't be driving, but that's why I think it'd be funny if he was a school bus driver. Because I don't have kids who live in Cape Coral. Otherwise, that wouldn't be funny at all. One last voicemail here.
Carl, man, it's amazing how John is always entertaining to us. Like, leaves the Dabbleverse, allegedly, and starts doing cameos. And somebody wants him to wish them a happy anniversary. And he's like, hey, it's Stuttering John. I just got out of the gym. I'm sweaty. Your wife's going to lick your asshole till there's shit on her tongue. I have a Mercedes and 3 gray kids. Okay, I gotta go.
That is pretty good stuff. The person actually emailed me what the prompts were for that specific cameo. Nothing about licking asshole, nothing sexual at all. I was all ad-libbed by John, so got to give credit where credit is due. Also, thanks to whoever sent me this neon sign behind me that just says queer in pink. I got home from comedy show last night.
The perfect gift doesn't exist.
And opened that up, and I went, all right, well, that's going to make it on the set. So thank you very much for that.
Okay, bye. Yes. Thank you for tuning in. Bye. Bye.
Are we done here?
I think we are.
Man, that was a good episode.
That was a good episode.
I enjoyed that.
That was a great episode.
That was really great.
I gotta go. Goodbye. Goodbye.
This is it. It's over. Okay? Goodbye. Goodbye. Hey, bye. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Cheers.